32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations, I'm Spaceboy.
I'm Surlana.
And this is Spaceboy Universe. It is December 31st, 2016, and tonight it's 2017's predictions, and we'll take your calls. As always, follow us on Twitter, that's at the SBU Universe. You can follow Surlana at Surlana, and you can follow me at Spaceboy Music. Of course, we're on the network that is setting the trend for the next evolution in broadcasting. Follow at the SBU Network. Remember to use your hashtags. The hashtags are hashtag SBU Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. Want to hang out with the Space Cadets? You can do so by going to spaceboyuniverse.com or the SBUnetwork.com and click the dancing chat bubble in the player. That will get you in with all the cool kids. In addition to Twitter, you can find the universe on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. Just look for Spaceboy Universe. Speaking of YouTube, you can find more than the Spaceboy Universe archive of shows. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more. Can't catch the show live? No problemo. Take the SBU on the go with you via Spreaker. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? On the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, and iTunes, because, man, we love the broadcast. And on that magical note, how are you, Surlana?
I'm ready to get rid of this blankety-blank year.
Well, we're almost down to the wire for us here in the Central Standard Time, Texas time, where we'll celebrate a new year as we're closing out the program. And
sounds like a war zone here already because people in our neighborhood are shooting fireworks.
You know, I didn't hear any fireworks. I mean, you apparently...
That was right. It was because you had your headphones on for Spaceboy Music. Mm-hmm. It was going on... But thankfully, it rained here good today, so the ground is good and wet, so you can set all the fires you want.
Yes, our good friend of the show, K28, says it's pouring out there in California, so, they're kind of wet and drowning in water out there, which I imagine that would be great for them, but considering the lack of water they've had this 2016, going drought. So, what you staring at, Surlana?
What do you mean, what am I staring at?
I'm talking to you, and you're doing this.
I wasn't aware I was supposed to look at you and you're talking.
You know, it is Explore the Universe with Spaceboy
and that's what I'm doing. I'm
Surlana.
Exploring it in these web browser tabs.
So, is there anything interesting you're looking at?
This is the time we usually
do our
that
banter.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, I know exactly, and that's why I'm asking.
And I had it, but I didn't get it in here.
Well, let me just do this first. There are some things I want to be say I'm thankful for this year.
Really?
Yeah, that for some of the guests and people. I just want to mention them by names. First one off the top of my list is Solaris Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Gordon Roop, Dennis, Bob and Bev, Noel, K28, and I know it's going off in the distance. We'll just deal with it. And, of course, all the Space Cadets, because without you, we can't make the universe possible because we need you to listen in and enjoy the show. So those are some of the people. I know there's more people that are out there, but, I wanted to just say Happy New Year to y'all, and if we didn't get a chance to say Happy Holidays back in Christmas time to you too as well, if you do. If you don't celebrate, just take it for what it's worth. Just just happy that you made the universe what it is this year, and we appreciate you all. And Surlana, you have to say yes and not shake
He
your head.
speaks for both of us.
Okay, good. So anyway, did you spin the wheel and find something there?
Well, I had it in the other room, but it didn't come over into this room. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do. I'll try to find all that.
Well, I was going to mention that now that we're going into the new year, we've got a chance to upload the new Spaceboy Universe website. And it's pretty nice compared... Well, I mean, the other site was good, too.
I got several things I need to be doing on it.
It still needs some tweaking, but for the most part, I like it. It's got, you should check it out, spaceboyuniverse.com. It's the new website. I like the fact that, past guests, you'll be able to see, the guest, and it has connections to the guest, and there's more coming down the pipe with that. But for the most part, it's kind of like one of those situations where we just needed to dive into the pool and learn to swim. And so Surlana has done a wonderful job of doing the website. And
I bought a template and then stripped it around and repurposed it. And
still, you used your magic to get it done, and
magic or a lot of cursing. I mean,
yeah. One thing about Surlana and her web designing is that she seems
web
to
development involves a lot of cursing.
Tourette's syndrome, and it's funny to watch her go at it and yell at the computer, and so
it's like watching those guys play mini golf on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Tower Unite. We both purchased the game.
It's been around for a while. It's on Steam only.
On Steam. And in the game, it's kind of like you can have your own apartment condo and have an avatar. And then, of course, there's another part where it has games where you could go to. It's like a virtual world kind of thing. But we purchased it. We like the golf games that have been available. What was the other golf game we played?
Golf with Friends.
Yeah, Golf with Friends. And so we've got this new one. It's called Mini Golf that's within the game. So it's a game within a game. Inception.
Tower Unite is kind of like it's a lobby with servers, and you can go in, and then you've got 4 games you can play with other people or by yourself. Mm-hmm. And the Tower Unite mini golf game has been making lots of people swear. Just get on YouTube and put that in, Tower Unite mini golf, and you will see people cursing a blue streak because it's fun yet really super irritating.
I recently recorded an episode of 2-Bit Gamers with Surlana. I mean, you can't really hear her, but you can hear me. And my frustration.
I could hear you because you had that door open. Yeah. I could hear you go.
Yeah, I was like, there were times where I wasn't happy, and at some point we'll get that uploaded. I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen me post tonight Pac-Man DX Plus and playing that.
I haven't seen that.
It's fun. In fact, it's very colorful. And the music
colorful as in colorful language, or is it colorful as in colors?
Surprisingly, I was quite neutral with. I didn't talk much when I was playing because the music is pumping. Mm-hmm. It's like it's like you're at a rave, and because it's got the colors are kind of neon looking colors, and so I'm like all into the game. You got 10 minutes to stay alive and avoid being dead and chomp down on.
That's pretty much life.
Ghosts.
Avoid being dead.
Avoid being dead compared to some of the.
That's what birthdays are. Happy avoid being dead.
Yeah. So I'm moving towards getting more content with the 2-Bit Gamers, and I guess at some point I'll get it fixed where you can hear both of us.
Yeah, we usually can. That happens usually after a big Steam sale, like they just had.
Speaking of Steam sale,
$1.50 for a game.
How many games did you buy?
Just 2.
I bought like 6.
I'm not as ambitious as you.
Yeah, well, I like the.
I think I have a grand total of 8 games on my wish list.
I think the interesting game I bought was called Aqua Kitties. And I know hold on, it gets even better. So basically, Aqua Kitties is you're underwater in this little ship thing. And you have to defend there's these milking devices on the bottom of the
Maybe
seafloor.
you better not describe it.
Hold on, just a second. It gets good. So it's got these milking devices on the bottom, and it's got like a little cat there. They're, I guess, standing on their hind legs, walking like humans. But
Do you have to drop acid to play this?
well, anyway, so if you've ever played the game Defender or Stargate, you have these aliens that come down and pick up the people, and well, it's similar. That you have these jellyfish-looking things that kind of come down and try to pick up your cat person that's working the milker on the bottom of the ocean. Which, first off, I don't understand what they're milking at the bottom of the ocean to get milk. But anyway, so the thing is that you play it just like Defender and Stargate. You go back left and right, and if you go all the way to the end of the right screen or the left screen, you appear on the other side, and it's quite entertaining. It's fun, and so that was one of the games I got that was kind of interesting. And then, of course, the Pac-Man game, I got that, and I got several others I haven't really dived into yet, but. Yeah, you can't beat I think the cheapest game I purchased was like 52 cents.
Yeah, some of them are just, like the older the game, the longer it's been on Steam, it probably will be a little cheaper. Mm-hmm. But some of the big names are even on sale for like Doom. When it came out, Doom, what is this, 4? Mm-hmm. It's $60. It's already down to 32, and it might be on sale right now, even cheaper. Things like that. Tower Unite was on sale for just a teensy bit, not for a whole lot, but...
Oh, Surlana, I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show, so let me do this real quick.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Sorry, SBU network, even though I'm the person who's running it. So that was our tagline for the network. So I apologize.
That's like station identification.
It is. I know. It's supposed to go in front of the shows, and I forgot to do it. I was just so excited to go from Spaceboy Music tonight to this show tonight. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah, Aqua Kitty, interesting game. Cheap games on Steam. You can't shake a stick at. Because you get all these wonderful games you can play. So, what else you got over there, Surlana?
Well, talking about blatant consumerism.
Yes. Hey, did you know the new Spaceboy Universe is promoting Spaceboy Music CD Unique Technique that's out for $10?
Well, no, I wasn't going to go there.
Okay. Well, where were you going?
Just diving into it. I'm intrigued by Amazon wanting to build a giant flying warehouse or warehouses. So I'm guessing this is the drone thing?
I think it ties into that.
Yeah, delivery drones.
It also ties into the fact of, like using special dirigibles.
That's the old Tommy saying for a blimp.
Yes.
They're trying to build a network.
Back in 1930s, we had blimps.
They're trying to build a network of delivery drones, and they want to open a warehouse in every major city on Earth. Jeez, that's ambitious. Mm-hmm. So they're going to file a patent and try to get airborne fulfillment centers or giant cargo blimps, as you say. And they'll send it to remote events to see a lot of Amazon orders like Coachella or a cross-country race, or maybe they could deliver small food items. And it would float thousands of feet in the air, and little drones would do the deliveries. Mm-hmm. It almost sounds adorable, doesn't it?
It kind of gives me that idea when I was watching Fringe and they were showing the other universe. They had blimps in the air, and I'm wondering if that was like kind of a look into our future of using blimps to...
Well, they said, you got to, one, you have to love that Amazon is this bold, and two, that it would set the stage for a daring midair blimp heist. So could be the plot of a movie.
Well, think about this. If they're using blimps like that, then they don't have to buy real estate or lease real estate. So it would be Amazon.
But that would take a lot of fuel, and I wonder if that would increase the cost of products.
No, think about it. If it's a dirigible, it's, I keep going back to the 1930s where Franklin Roosevelt has created a New Deal. So it would be, they would just float. And then if they needed to be moved, then it's just a little bit of electricity to move them. So it wouldn't be, the cost of running a blimp is not that going to be overly expensive.
Okay.
I mean, once you get it floating, it could just stay there. It's there.
All right.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it really to.
I think it's fascinating the fact that here you're looking at the next thing where of Amazon just putting the next thing out there so that people can buy crap.
Well, I'm excited about the Amazon Go, which is a physical store. I guess it's more of a grocery store than anything. Of course, that's only being beta tested somewhere in Washington
Seattle,
State.
Yeah, something out there.
So, but I don't see why. Of course, Houston wouldn't. I know it's so distracting. It sounds like a war zone outside.
All I hear is it seems like if you move, the chair pops. So I don't really hear a lot.
You don't hear that big boom that's going outside the window?
I hear a pop occasionally, but it's not like anything.
It's a boom.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
All right. So
you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I'm just saying, you started with a topic, and so I'm going to go to the next topic of Star Wars Rogue One.
I have a little tidbit about that.
Oh, you do? We got to get a chance to see it this last Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning.
So this will be the third week that it's out.
Yeah. And
in its first 2 weeks, it's already the third highest grossing movie of 2016 in just 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So how high will it go? Don't know. I'm
sure it'll go higher. But that pretty much shows, if you serve the fans, they will buy it. And, I love this movie in the sense that it really kind of it fills in some of the plot points of Star Wars, the New Hope, episode 4, I guess you would call it. And overall, what were your feelings about the movie?
It explained a lot of the major plot point of 4. Number 4?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I get the numbers right. A New Hope. And, you see A New Hope and you go, well, why? That's a pretty strange plot point of how you destroy this Death Star. Mm-hmm. Why is it so simple? Well, this goes back and explains all that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific reason it was done like that. And
it was done on purpose.
Yeah. It literally takes you all the way up to the point where A New Hope starts. It's like you could watch Rogue One, shut it off, and put on A New Hope, and it would be like almost seamless.
Yeah, in fact, the other night, I guess I watched A New Hope, and it's pretty much, it connects both ways. And so it was really interesting to watch the beginning of A New Hope after watching Rogue One. I will admit I was a little saddened by the ending of that show, but it was
well, they have to what else is there to go from there? You go straight into New Hope, and I'm trying to do this without spoiling anything.
Right.
The last frame of the movie is especially poignant now, without giving that away, and why, given what's happened in the last few days. So it just gets you right in the gut.
Right. So, yeah, it's like the two movies go hand in hand, and, the rumors out there, or whatever, the rumors or the scutterbug that's out there about there being a sequel to Rogue One. Well, technically, the Star Wars movie Episode 4 is the sequel to this movie. And, it just continues on with the story. So, when they were saying there won't be a sequel, well, that's one reason. But I'm going to say a spoiler here is that no one survives.
Yeah, because there's.
So it's dark, it's gritty. Do I recommend it? Yes. How many parsecs do I give it? I give it 5 out of 5 parsecs.
You realize that's like a measurement of distance.
I do know. Anyway, so what else you got there, Surlana? Blah, 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 blah.
I'm sorry. Chat's like, I'm ready to crap on 2016. We'll get to it as soon as we, do our break and whatnot. Let's see. So this is going to tie in with what I'm going to say a little bit later with a kind of a prediction, but
Yeah.
you know that Amazon has their own device to put in your home, which is Echo. Well, there's
Oh,
Alexa
yeah.
and there's Echo. I don't really know what the difference is.
I think Echo is the smaller little circle bottle cap, whatever. And
Well,
then Alexa is the
I
big one.
guess. I'm not sure. I have to figure that out. But so if you've got this in your home, it's connected to your Amazon account, and you can talk to it. It's interactive, and I guess you can say, I need to order this, and it'll do it for you, or something like this. Well, if you're familiar with Bentonville, Arkansas, they recently issued a warrant to get someone's Amazon to get, I guess, the data off the Echo, including the audio,
Right.
and they're going to pair that with other information from this home for a murder case of a man called Victor Collins, and they're going to take this information from the Echo for the alleged murderer to assemble a timeline of events to prove the state's case. So the question is whether the suspect's own gadgets can be ordered to rat him out. Something an attorney is fighting to see if they can get that done. So data from our devices is not as reliable as marketing copy pretends. So I just have to wonder, can Echo overhear a murder or what else it might be overhearing? What's going on in your room? Because, I mean, this thing is on all the time, right?
Right.
Waiting to listen.
Can you imagine? It's like on Star Trek where the computer is always listening, waiting for a command, or so yeah, it's always listening, ready to acknowledge
Always
you.
watching.
Yeah, it's always watching.
So
Big Sister's
there's
watching.
another thing you have to worry about. Like, can they subpoena your data from these devices you have just to order stuff?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like this. You can pretty much, as long as you get a warrant from a judge, it seems like you should be able to get that information. Now it's kind of interesting in this situation where you have companies now, which would tie into predictions of the future here, where you're going to see more companies trying to get voices to better their systems, so that when they're listening, they can differentiate when like we're talking right now, to where you say, "Hey, Alexa, what time is it?" Well, it is 12:37.
Well, wait till Adobe Voco comes out. Then that's really going to muddy the waters.
I really want that. For our listening audience, Adobe Voco is
Scary.
Let me explain a little bit. Now, think of Photoshop, where you can manipulate photos and do all interesting things. Now, take that to the next step of using voice, where it takes about 30 minutes of conversation from somebody, and then out of that 30 minutes, you can type in whatever and to the program, and it will speak just like that person. So imagine a future show where we've
Make us say anything.
Yeah, we could take our conversations that we've had through various shows and create a virtual show where we're not even in the show, but it's all...
Oh, please let that happen.
I know that you
I
would
wouldn't even
love
have
that.
to be here.
That is what is coming down the pipe. So I personally would like to get a hold of that. And I'm looking at it more, for Spaceboy Productions, but also for Spaceboy Music. Some of the things that I could probably do with that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but the potential for doing bad things is...
Well, there's always the potential
scary.
for bad things to happen when you use technology. I think what it is that the people who police out there need to have people that are knowledgeable of technology like this and be aware of that, and then make the best calls in those situations. Once again, we're going into a dead spot here. Hold on as we exit the tunnel. Surlana, are you okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay. What else
I'm just doing a lot of things at one time.
I see you doing.
So out of the blue, and I think this really caught you off guard, is I decided, hey, I want to watch Batman versus Superman last night. And it wasn't bad. I have no opinion on Batman or Superman or DC Comics. I don't care one way or another. It was just something to do. And I was like, hey, this isn't too bad. And I actually felt kind of bad for Superman. And he's not bad to look at. And
Well, see,
he was shirtless at some points.
You got a little bit of cheesecake there with the... What did you say, Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say...
I don't want the other guy to take his clothes off
like,
at all.
Ben Affleck, I didn't think
No.
you
He could keep everything on. I don't even want to see his eyeballs.
But as far as acting goes, did you think that Ben Affleck, was that a jumbo 747 flying through?
I know that. See, okay, I was going to mention this later, but here's what I want for 2017. This is the one thing I'll mention now. There's some other things I want for 2017. I want 2017 to be the year that websites stop auto-playing videos the second you go, their site is loaded, and then these ones where you stop it and you scroll down, then it takes the video and puts it down in the corner.
It follows you.
Because it thinks, you can't possibly not want to see and hear this video. I'm like, yeah, the reason I skipped it is because I'm not interested in that video for all that you dying for me to see it. And every time...
Or you're in the middle of somewhere, like your job. And,
yeah. And, well, I have my own office. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I love the fact, I go to these sites like, hey, I noticed you have on ad blocker. Maybe you could consider, I'm like, that's right, I got on ad blocker, and I hope it ruins your day.
So tell me how you really feel.
Well, I'll get into that. I don't want to get into it now until after the first break.
Sure. Speaking of first break, we still got a little more time to go.
86 million. Wait, no, 400 million domestically for Star Wars Rogue One.
So just shy of 500 million.
It earned 16.8 million on Friday, and which will bring it to 54.6 million on the second weekend. And I keep comparing it to other movies, but I'm like, they're all different. There's no need to compare them.
Let me guess. Jurassic Park?
Sing, other things that are out right now.
Sing. Oh, okay.
And Passengers and La La Land, things I've never heard of.
Surprisingly, Passengers is not doing that well, but I have to...
It didn't have a lot of ad stuff.
Well, the problem I'm seeing is that you've got Star Wars out now that's just kicking everybody in the nards. And then you've got the Sing, which is animated for kids. So
kids' movies always win, but this is a Star Wars thing.
Right.
So that will...
And I admit, I went to these movie spoilers page I like to go to and read the thing about Passengers. I mean, from what I've seen, you got Jennifer Lawrence, and you've got, I can't believe, it's not Gene Hackman, because my brain is on place, and it's...
There aren't any Genes.
I know, but what's the Pratt guy? Chris
him.
Pratt. And the video for it looks awesome. I imagine at some point I am going to watch this. I don't know if I'm going to go to the theater and watch it now, but it's one of those movies that it's not a bad movie. It's a pretty decent movie, and from what I read about the movie, it sounds interesting. So at some point, maybe I'll go see it at the Dollar Movie.
Oh, it could reach 1 billion worldwide for Rogue One.
It's very possible. They're making their money back on this. The Star Wars thing.
I'm scared to look at anything else on this website. I'm just going to close it. It's going to autoplay.
Well, Surlana, we are pretty much close to the bottom of the hour. Do you want to go ahead and take the break?
Yeah, because I'm raring to go here.
Okay, and I guess that'll give you a chance to open up the phone lines.
Well, somebody says this isn't going to be all depressing. I'm like, no, we're going to mention some things right off the bat about some people that passed, but mostly it's a gripe fest.
Who is this saying that? I got to see what Chris Pratt, yeah, Catalina, yeah. The thing is that
someone related to me.
Oh, I see. The thing is, when you tune in to Spaceboy Universe, you never know what you're going to get. It's usually a pretty good time because it's usually Surlana going on a rant or mine going on a rant.
I would not sit here and let you listen to a program where it's just weepy and like...
And then, of course, at some point, she's going to make fun of me because I can't remember who Gene Hackman is. And so, it's all good in the neighborhood. Circus peanuts. So on that magical note, let's go ahead and get into the break, and when we come back, we'll get into a show that is going to be one remembered by you.
I just think you're so funny.
I am.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt. It's Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Ever seen an extraterrestrial? It can be hard to believe they exist unless you've seen one for yourself. What if I told you I've seen them my whole life, but have never had a witness who shared the encounter with me? Now, what if I told you I saw 4 of them, 2 with blue skin, and there are over 20 witnesses to this CE5 event? My new book, The Blue Beings, Visitation at the UFO Conference, documents actual accounts from real witnesses, many of which have gone on record to attest to this otherworldly reality. Be a part of the quantum paradigm shift that is taking place right now. Go to johnpolkmedia.com to get your copy of The Blue Beings, Visitation at the UFO Conference, on sale right now at johnpolkmedia.com. That's JOHNPOLK media.com.
Hello Space Cadets. It is announcer Savannah. I want to tell you that as a dedicated member of the SBU team, you always want to look your best. Do it in a Spaceboy Universe t-shirt. Get yours at spaceboyuniverse.com by clicking the banner on the website.
Greetings, Space Cadets! Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlana's Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
You are tuned into Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network. To call in, dial 818-616-7286. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Can you hear this?
We are back.
Oh.
And Surlana, what are you talking about?
I was doing things.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and do your thing.
But you might hear it.
I've got those things turned down.
Okay,
They're
awesome.
muted. So Surlana is over there trying to make sure that the phone lines have opened up. As you know, Space Cadets, we have a new phone line, and that's 818-616-7286. That's 818-616-7286.
Now I can't hear.
Well,
I didn't want them to have to hear it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Just
wait for the break?
No, I mean, we're going to open it up, right? I mean...
but they may hear that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, this is the magic of what should be behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. I've got the volume turned up for Surlana so she can hear that we're connecting.
I have to talk. I have to hear the guy talk. I'm sorry.
At some point.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
Sorry
Please
about
enter
this.
your show number and press pound.
So she's obviously punching in the information.
6-digit PIN number.
Okay.
The magic
Welcome,
of
You have not started a show session in Call-In Studio and cannot yet. Welcome, host.
There.
You are now in the host room and can
Now we
manage
have
your
open
call.
lines.
There we go. It's open lines. It's open line Saturday. So yeah, we're connected. So as I was explaining to the space cadets out there, is that we had to add some extra bucks into the system just to make sure that the phone
refund it.
Yeah. So yeah, the new number is 818-616-7286. That's 818-616-SBUN. That's what those last 4 letters are connected to, the 7286. You were going to say?
Nothing.
Okay, awesome.
Well,
so,
I mean, eventually I'll say something.
Now, I just was going to point out during the break that I think that when I saved my information, Surlana, I saved it to our documents drive, and I think your information overwrote mine. I didn't know that you put a predictions for 20...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so now I don't have...
Is it on did you save it there and nowhere else?
It's exactly where I saved it.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Are you there, caller? Sorry about that.
Oh, hold on. You got to pipe you up first.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Bev.
Sorry about our bickering there.
You know, it wouldn't be a show without us going back and forth, right, Bev?
That's right. That's what makes it fun.
Well, I'm excited that you're the first caller right out of the bat, and so the floor is all yours. So, what's on your mind, my dear?
Oh, just wanted to wish everybody a safe, happy, healthy, prosperous new year, and hopefully the next year it'll be better.
Please let it be better. I can't take it.
Just a real quick one. Surlana, I found my thing. I actually put Spaceboy in there. Spaceboy predictions.
Sorry about that, Beb. Bickering takes precedence over everything.
Yeah, so we like to hammer it out in the cage match. 2 enter, but none exit. Kind of situation.
I'm just thrilled you have your own notes. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I do have some notes. Yeah.
Holy cow! I'm just floored.
Yeah, I wanted to be prepared for tonight. So, Bev. Do you have some predictions or any predictions for this coming year?
Well, I'm trying to think of some.
What do you hope would happen?
That we all know peace in our lifetime.
Well, that's always a good one.
When no countries are at war, and everybody gets along. All the countries are allies with each other, and that would be nice.
It would be nice.
That's something I've always wished for. Because, can't have peace. What is there? Constant war.
Well, that's kind of like Surlana and I when we're at each other.
What, constant war? Oh, that's okay. Bob and I bicker a lot, too.
Yeah,
What's a good relationship and a good marriage without bickering every once in a while?
No. Well, you got to set the other spouse.
We must have the most rock-solid marriage.
We got to set the other spouse right every once in a while.
Especially when you know you're correct, and they're sitting there questioning you, and like, look, I'm correct. Just give it up.
Look, it's like our conversation earlier that it was like, who's on first? I don't know who is on first. Exactly who.
I'm like, this is how it works. It just works. It doesn't matter if you understand it. It works.
Well, I always try to get in the last word with Bob, but it never works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he always has to have the last word.
Spaceboy always has to have the final silence.
Oh, well.
And he could go for days. And I'm like, and I finally got to the point where, like, you know what? I'm just going to live my life, and if you don't want to talk to me, I got plenty other stuff to do.
Well, it's like, I was growing up, it was like, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. So I admit that if I get mad, I really try to like
play,
just I go silent. I just shut my mouth up, and silence is usually you can tell. He's mad.
And I'll say, "Are you ready to take your bottom lip off the floor yet?" Nope, not saying anything to me. Okay, fine. I'm going to go now.
One thing that we've always made a pact with is we try to never go to bed mad at each other. And there's not too much. I don't think we ever really have.
Yeah, I'm not going to scratch his back if he's mad at me. Heck no.
Oh, you guys are hilarious.
Well,
punch him in the kidney.
We're just...
Ooh!
Yeah,
kidney punch!
See how mean she is to me? And then she wonders why I go silent. That's usually...
Women have to keep men in line.
Okay, at some point you're going to need to get Bob on the phone because we need to check the... we need to trust but verify on this one.
Tell him to pick up the extension.
Bob, pick up the extension. She's laughing. I like it.
Let Muffin scratch his back.
She can't. She doesn't have
Muffins
front
are
claws.
cat. Muffins are cat.
Oh.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
I was like, Bev's probably like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, I have to when I say her name, I have to make sure people understand she's a cat. She came with that name. We didn't name her that because...
And I've kind of made up an extra name for her to go with her name. I call her Mick Muffin.
McMuffin.
And Surlana's over here shaking her head like, you're not funny.
You're not funny.
Apparently,
you're corny.
See, that's corny. There you go.
Bob is suspiciously
I don't know
quiet.
what it is, Surlana. Men always think they're funny about it.
And they like anything an 8-year-old could have said.
Whoa,
that's not as.
When did this become pick on Spaceboy night? It doesn't. It's not.
That's every night.
It's like prediction show tonight.
Bob's not even saying anything in chat.
That's bad. If Bob, we got to stick together, my brother.
I forgot to open Twitter. Maybe he's taking it out on Twitter. Let's see what's going on over there.
He does like to do the Twitter. So
no, he's playing it cool, I guess. Maybe he wants to speak to an attorney first.
Well, I'll give you a prediction.
All right.
I predict that Donald Trump is going to turn around the economy.
Okay. So you've signed in verbal agreement here that or on the show that next year when we look back on this show, that's what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well,
I hope so anyway.
So if it doesn't work, we call you back.
I'm pleading the fifth, Bob says.
Bob, I've got
fifth
your...
what?
Yeah, he's, he's not going to speak. He's doing my silence treatment. What do you think I do? Remain silent. But I got your back, Bob. I got your back, man.
I've got a bag of sweethearts. I don't know if you sweetheart candy because Valentine's is already here according to Walmart, and I picked it out and it says "Call me anytime" on it. Bev, that must be for you.
Oh.
I'll take a picture of it in case you don't believe me.
Well,
Bob is so well trained, Jeannie.
Well, I like the fact that K28 points out without Spaceboy, no one would exist.
I propose if it wasn't for me, the show wouldn't exist.
Well, you're the other part of the coin here. See, Bev, bless your heart. We love you, and
we don't mean that in the way.
We appreciate you calling in.
We don't mean that in the way that sounds. Bless your heart. We don't mean it like that.
I know.
And but
I
yeah,
know.
Yeah, you know me better than
Not
that.
in the traditional sense of bless your heart.
So anyway,
oh Lord.
How's the weather up there?
Cold.
Any snow still?
It's cold. No, snow's just about gone. And I think it's Tuesday and Wednesday. It's supposed to be 50 and 51. And then very next day, back down to 29.
Wow. Yeah, we had a little drizzle today.
It's been crazy weather. Crazy weather.
Crazy all over.
It is. I hope we don't get any more snow.
Well,
I used to like snow, so I had learned how to drive.
I thought the last time I saw snow was 10 years ago.
It was
really?
It, yeah, was it that night we went to the we went
were
to
still dating.
A restaurant, and it was just out of nowhere it started snowing.
We never went back.
Yeah.
And it was a good restaurant. It was expensive.
Yeah. Well, Bev, we appreciate you calling in.
Well, I always have to call in.
Well, we appreciate you. And Bob, get a handle on this, man. Get a handle on this. Stand your ground.
What, me? Get a handle on me? Yeah, right. He's been trying that for almost 30 years and still hasn't done it.
It's nice to see we're not the only couple out there that is doing our thing, just like you and Bob.
Yep. Well, when Bob and I first started dating, I was so timid. I would let everyone walk all over me.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he says, "Babe, don't do that. Speak your piece." And you know what? He said now he created a monster.
Well, I don't want to even go there with telling you about Surlana because she's liable to pull out a switchblade or something.
I was the same way. I was the exact same way, Bev, before I moved to Texas and before I met Spaceboy. But as soon as I moved to Texas and then a few months later I met him, I had already changed. So he didn't know any better.
Well, the first family dinner we went to together on his family, I left crying because he's got 3 other older brothers, and they all picked on me. I thought they didn't like me. He says, "Honey, if they didn't pick on you, they wouldn't like you." He says, "You just got to learn to pick back." And now I do.
Well, you stand your ground, and like I said, we love you here at the Universe, and we just like you are hoping for a fantastic 2017.
Yep. And I just hope everybody has a safe one and happy and healthy and prosperous one.
All right.
Same here.
All right,
for
Bev.
you.
To you too.
Oh, thank you, and I love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That always cracks me up is we're probably the only show that tells our callers that we love them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where are you going to get that? You're not going to get it on any other show.
Well, that also could be that we're desperate and needy.
When it's just us and we have to look at each other all the time, it's nice to have somebody call in like Bev and be loved from, so.
We would go and hang out with people, but the problem with Houston is Houston is big.
It is
I don't know if you're aware of this, but people don't live near each other. They live on the east side, north side. They live 40 plus miles away, but you're still in Houston.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and it goes back to having friends here in Houston. It's the same thing. We don't keep many friends because, by the time we get work, we're working on the Universe and the network.
The older I find that the older you get, the less friends you have, because you whittle them down to like a core few people you can really depend on. Those ones that'll be there for you, help you bury the body.
You get rid of the dummies, and you keep the hardcore loyal ones, because loyalty is everything. So that is what it is. So
okay, I want to go ahead and do the bummer part of the show first and get it over with.
Let's start cracking.
The bummer part is 2016, I'm going to say it just, to put it mildly, it sucked. And it seemed like we lost a lot of people, but every year we seem like we lose a lot of people. But this one, because I guess we have more social media now than ever, it was really in our face. And just briefly, I'm looking at...
a lot of high profile
yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Independent.co.uk is what I'm looking at. And it starts in January and goes through this month. Of course, David Bowie and Alan Rickman, Glenn Fry. A guy that's well known over in England is Terry Wogan. He is a BBC broadcaster. Maurice White, founder of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Harper Lee, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. Umberto Eco, novelist. Actor George Kennedy. This one I didn't know, and I was kind of sad to hear. Frank Kelly. He's an actor. He played Father Jack Hackett on Father Ted. And if you've never seen Father Ted, hop on Amazon, hop on Netflix or even YouTube, type it in, and watch some of that. Let's see. Nancy Reagan. I didn't realize she was still alive. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of people I didn't realize they were still alive. Keith Emerson with Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Frank Sinatra Jr. Let's see. Gary Shandling. Denise Robertson. I think she was an agony aunt on This Morning. Let's see. Ronnie Corbett. Now, you wouldn't know this, but this is another big name over in England. He was one of the two Ronnies of that show called The Two Ronnies, which I loved growing up.
Was he the shorter one? Or?
He was a taller, older one.
Taller one.
He was the good at the tongue twister things.
Oh, okay.
The mispronunciation thing.
Sure.
The actor who played Admiral Akbar died.
It's a trap.
That guy. Let's see. Prince, of course.
Yeah.
Was shocking. Let's see, real quick here. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here I'm skipping over because I don't know them. Anton Yelchin, which was in a bizarre, senseless, crazy accident. Kenny Baker, who was the guy inside of R2-D2.
Right.
Before, I guess, they did remote control. And just to make sure you get this straight, Gene Wilder passed away.
Right.
Arnold Palmer, the golfer, he passed away. He was 87. Let's see. Pete Burns. Some of you who may be older or too young may not know who Pete Burns was, but because we lived through the 80s, he was the lead singer of Dead or Alive. You've probably heard You Spin Me Right Round Like a Record Baby.
Right round.
And he passed away. Leonard Cohen, the composer, he passed away. Let's see. Robert Vaughn, the actor.
Right.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Have you gotten to Alan Thicke?
Andrew, this is chronologically.
Oh, I see.
Andrew Sachs, another name in British comedy. He played Manuel on Fawlty Towers. Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Let's see, now we're getting into this month. Greg Lake of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. John Glenn.
Yeah.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. George Michael. Carrie Fisher passed away at age 60 on the 27th, and then the next day, unbelievably, tragically, her mother, Debbie Reynolds, passed away the next day. And I'm wondering if that news was just too much for her to handle.
Well, I imagine so. It's always, I've heard the expression that to outlive your kids is
a crazy
too much.
Thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too much. So, and on that note, we'll go to one more sad thing, and I won't dwell on it because it's a bit much for us. We lost our dog, as in he ran away, and it's been tough. It's been tough for you, and I hate how tough it's been for you, to the point where this is where he goes silent because he can't process it, and I didn't know really how to help you with it.
Well,
so here we go into 2017 dogless. And we're going to stay that way because we can't go through this again. And that's why I've been real clingy with Muffin, our cat. She's good. She's awesome. And when we knew that he was, most likely he's gone for good, I put the doors down, the hard plastic doors. You slide it down over the flaps and the dog doors. I said, that's it. You're not going outside.
Referring to the cat.
Yeah, because if we can't get the gate fixed in time and there's flipping coyotes roaming the streets of our suburban neighborhood, no, you're not going out anymore till we get something fixed, or that's just it. Should just get over it. So, and then you had some professional issues, and it's just this has just been a lousy year.
The upside is we managed to keep the universe going.
We came very close to losing it.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that, but
very close.
And I will immediately say right off the bat, thanks to people like K28, Bob, and Bev, that were able to donate to help cover some cost while we were going. Even Leanne. Mm-hmm. I can't forget Leanne in that group of people. Mark of Truth Funders helped
people
out.
Who did make 2016 a little better, especially Leanne. Shout out to her husband, who I said, hey, why can't you just have a catfish Cajun Christmas? And he gave it to me. So I was up there last Sunday on Christmas at Leanne's house having catfish, and they had gumbo and hush puppies and crawfish pie and catfish fillets and just all kind of goods. They had homemade pumpkin pie, and you missed out on all that because you're socially backward.
Well, it's not that
I had it all to myself. I don't care. I said I'll pay your husband for him not to invite anyone else. So it was just me, Leanne, her husband, her teenage son, and her mom. We actually ate in her mom's home, which is on Leanne's property. So I was like, I had them all to myself. But yeah, so that was one of the nice things that happened right before this little turd of a year ends. Mm-hmm. So that made me happy. But so if we want to get past the boohoo. Remember last year we talked about, we were here last year, or we were in the other room, we were in 2015, we were talking about what was going to happen this year. Well, if we had only known the crap fest, but we had made some predictions in last year's. One of the things that we said...
One of the things we said last year about this time is, hey, it's time for a commercial break.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize time had flown by. I was trying to hurry through that.
Yeah, so why don't we play some music? Break for a second, and so we can wipe our eyes of all the tears, and when we come back, we'll get into more predictions and take some calls and figure out why Surlana is like tripping acid over there.
Stop! So, you can stop looking at me. You wouldn't have to worry about stuff.
Well, I do. I look at you and I worry. So on that note, here is our commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Now here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Indeed, it is Spaceboy Universe, and you're exploring it with Spaceboy and Surlana. And I guess Surlana was showing me some candy, and I had to grab some.
He's like stopping the show to stop and get candy from across the desk.
Well, let's make this perfectly clear. I do not like the white ones, but I'll go ahead.
Wait, I'll give you.
I like the yellow ones, and I like the
I thought
pink.
they're all the same.
No, they're different. This one tastes like chalk.
I'll eat that one.
Of course, they all taste like chalk, but they're flavored.
What about green, yellow, and pink?
I can go for a yellow.
Here, I'll just stand up and try to give this to you.
So this is live broadcasting.
Oh, it's like nobody's listening.
What do you mean? People are listening. So, Solana, when we left before the musical break, by the way, that song is called Solaris. It's on
so pretty.
The new Spaceboy album, Unique Technique, where you can get that on SpaceboyMusic.com for just $10. Like K28. K28 will tell you how great it is. He's jammed out in his car with Spaceboy Music. So tell him K28.
Just a quick aside before I get back to the content. My sister mentioned something in chat. There was no Merle's to go to. Merle's was the name of a restaurant. That was the man's last name. And it's what you would call a greasy spoon, a local home cooking food. And I don't think they changed their decor for 30 years. If it was still there today, it'd probably look exactly the same. But sadly, when Merle Sr. passed away, his son took it over, and it was okay for a while, and then I think he got allegedly addicted to cocaine, and that killed the business. But you want to talk about pie, homemade pie, like on par with a House of Pies here, if not better, because it was a smaller, deal. But my dad told me that Merle Sr., this is in Shreveport, Louisiana, that when Hank Williams Sr. was just getting popular, that he had stopped into Merle's, because I'm sure he was probably there for the Louisiana Hayride that was in downtown Shreveport. So he hadn't really made it yet, and he went to eat there, but he couldn't cover the cost of his meal. And so Merle Sr. said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Next time you come through, you just pay me back." Well, he didn't, but apparently his son Junior came through and paid his dad's tab years and years later. So I don't know if that story is true, but it's kind of cool.
All right. Well, that's a fascinating story about Merle's. So when we were talking before the break, we were talking about getting ready to get into predictions.
Well, we'd given some predictions last year about this year. Mm-hmm. So last year we had said, for instance, that mobile internet traffic had started to overtake desktop internet traffic. And we found this out to be true. And not only has it overtaken the people who are online or on mobile devices because the consumers are getting younger, and companies are aware of this, and they're starting to embrace this fact that consumers are younger and more mobile. Mm-hmm. So now they're going to start incorporating more social media aspects into marketing and, more demonstration commercials on YouTube, more social media, more one-on-one customer experience with like direct messaging, private messaging. Mm-hmm. But of course, this has proliferated into, like we were just talking about, Echo/Alexa. Mm-hmm. We had said last year that this year there'd be more RFID to get into every room of your house, kitchen, laundry. And again, this is Amazon. They've got those little buttons you push, and you'll reorder.
It'll reorder automatically.
So you've got that, which is wireless, mm-hmm. and you've got Alexa/Echo. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing Alexa's the woman you talk to, and Echo's the device. That's what I'm thinking. It's like Siri/iPhone, Mm-hmm. But we'd also predicted last year that VR technology would really take off, and like the Oculus Rift, Microsoft's HoloLens, Sony PlayStation's VR, And some other wearable tech will continue to decline, maybe like the
watch?
Apple Watch.
Apple
Yeah,
Watch.
I haven't heard a lot about that. But so sure enough, that's true. VR seemed like it was everywhere. And I think the one that really made it out was Oculus Rift and the Sony VR, because I have seen so many YouTubers, gamers, doing the Sony PlayStation one.
Right.
And it is pretty phenomenal. There is a, the one I saw was, you go in there, you put your goggles on, and you've got to get a big enough space to work in.
Right.
And it's basically, imagine having kind of like Photoshop in 3 dimensions, but, not as robust, of course. But
Right.
you can draw with neon light in the dark and erase and fill, and you draw something, but you can walk around your entire drawing.
Creation. In other words, you're creating...
Underneath it, around side.
You're painting in 3D is what you're doing. And you can walk in that environment, in a 3D type environment. But indeed, we have seen the VR situation take off. And if you take it a step further, you have 3D photographing, which you've probably seen some of this like in advertising, like most, I guess, earliest was I saw the Jungle Book live action, where they took it and as you move, you can take your iPhone or I guess your Android and look at this and move your camera and look in different ways and use it as a VR to look at things. And so you're starting to see a lot of that up here. In fact, I've noticed a kind of like beginning of 3D cameras where you've got that circular thing where you can look in all directions. So I know we're covering things that we've done for this particular year, the 2016, but I'm really looking forward. You're probably going to see a lot more of this 3D.
Yeah, it's not going away.
Yeah, it's not going away, because really, ultimately, the next evolution when it comes to movies is to totally immerse yourself.
They've got to get it better than what it is now.
Better than 3D with the glasses. I mean...
all it does is make me sick.
Because with the technology I'm talking about, you don't need glasses. If depending on the screen, if it's bubbled.
Were we wearing glasses at the Borg 4D experience?
Yeah, we wore.
That is the only thing that has ever impressed me, and it wasn't 3D; it was 4D, and I believed things were coming to get us.
Well, something did, and it made me hop out of my seat.
Well, that's the seat. I mean,
because it probed me pretty hard, and I didn't like it.
It just tickled.
Oh, well,
it was like little pneumatic.
I'm glad
things.
It tickled you, but apparently it got me in the whomper, and it made me jump out of my seat.
Well, they need more stuff like that, I think.
What, stuff to make you jump out of your seat?
Yeah, they need more of that.
Sticks you in the whomper?
Nobody knows what you're talking about. Another prediction we had last year for this year was that 2016 may be the last year of Flash, since WebGL
thank God
doesn't use JavaScript or a browser plugin. That would be its replacement. And I have found this to sort of be true, because now when you go to certain sites, Flash is turned off by default. And if you want to turn it on, you either have to install it if you don't have it, or right click and say, yeah, go ahead and run it, because it's starting to cut it off to sites that aren't dependent. There's some sites I go to that are fully dependent on it, like if you go to shockwave.com, which is all Flash-based games. A lot of games are Flash-based. But if they could take all that and make it this WebGL, that way we could play it across platforms.
Right.
Because Linux doesn't play too nice with it. I noticed when you had me on Linux over here, I had to go through hoops and put in a string of code, and I was like, I don't know how to do that, so I just don't care about it. And I'm thinking that's why Linux is the preferred OS if you're going to go do something sneaky, or if you're going to get on Tor or anything on the deep net, because it does by default not have JavaScript and Flash embedded on or installed.
Right.
That's what gets you in trouble, is scripts can come through the Flash action script and through JavaScript and mess your stuff up. So you have to know when to activate it, when not to activate it. So another thing we said last year for 2016. 4K TVs and DVDs will is going to be the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, by the end of this year, I think only thing you can buy now are smart TVs in 4K and
Right.
HD. So there's no such thing as going lower than that for a TV.
Right.
Now, one thing I keep seeing when I was doing research, one site says, "Oh no, it's like this," and it says, "No, it's like this." It's just how you go, and you get just differing opinions. So last year in 2015, we said this year may be a decline in vinyl LPs, old records, but
Really?
it said vinyl is in such demand that the few factories left pressing are at maximum capacity, and even print's showing signs of comeback in printed books. But now they're saying vinyl has had its last big growth spurt, but then several other sites I went to said that vinyl sales were down for 2016, according to one site, but other sites said that LP sales were up at a 28-year all-time high, or an increase of 54% since 2013.
So I have to call BS on this in the sense of LPs are still very viable, because I'm starting to see a couple of sites pop up about getting LPs.
Mm-hmm.
And
these aren't just stuff recorded back when that was the only format available. This is new music.
Right.
Current releases are coming out still.
And there's still a big market for, you have that, and then big market for exchanging, old LPs that are out there.
Yes,
and
swap. There's like online swaps
Exactly.
for just LPs.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon.
In fact,
because
buying a player isn't that cheap.
You still you see record players still out there on the market. There's
they're
some
not cheap.
No, and you still have DJs that still enjoy using LPs in their mix compared to using the CD or even virtual MP3s to do their mix.
Well, as a musician, you know something about the actual physical process of getting the music onto a record, and you also know exactly what's involved in making an MP3. An MP3 is not as good because it's compressed.
Well, an MP3 is a compression of the file. And of course, you can, depending on what format you save it in, you could save it at a different bit rate to make the sound even better. When I guess in the early days, the compression rate was about 96. Now, it's you can get it, I think, higher than 250. I think for an average listening experience, a 192 is probably the best bit rate to listen to music and not even tell the difference of compression. But yeah.
But I remember. Do you remember back in the '90s, late '90s, when I don't know if MP3s came out when I first heard them, because they weren't. I don't think things rarely got above 128 kps.
No, that's perfect for listening to.
Most of the stuff I was getting, because I was sharing it with just random people on the internet, it was always a lot lower, and you get these crappy. You could hear the compression. It was so terrible.
I think it was close to 96. Is still not bad. You can still.
It's not.
It's not perfect, but it's still.
You need at least 128.
128 is the minimum for perfect listening on a CD. So there you go for a little tech, talk. So
256, right?
Well, that's
300.
the high. Personally, I don't record anything above 120 or 196.
196 was usually the optimal.
That's what I record everything music-wise.
And I would spend 4 days getting a 196 kps MP3 back in the day. Those were the good days, though. Those were fun days.
Okay.
Now, on to things I would like to go away for 2017. Not very much here.
But you kind of didn't you speak of the I know you were giving me the wave here.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
No, the going to a website and
yes, I would love to see autoplay videos stop. go ahead, embed your video, but don't autoplay it. Give me that option, for heaven's sakes. You know, I'm very easily startled. Don't do that to me.
You know, we do have the option on the player for our websites to automatically play the first thing that's on that list. But, you know, like most people, we don't force it down your throat. I mean, we want you to go to the site and not like have music already starting blaring. You know,
remember the old days where everybody was embedding a MIDI or a WAV file, and it was madness in the early 90s. Just a side note, my sister says, you know, her partner has been writing and recording a lot, so she's been hearing the same few songs over and over and over because he's like doing what you do and perfecting a song.
Right.
I said, I have a name for that, sis. It's called technosexual syndrome. Would you like to explain that real quick before I move on?
Yeah, basically, I wrote a song called Technosexual, and it's off the album Departure. And I just played it over and over, and
you know, was working on
I was working on, usually when I'm playing a song, I'll put it into a loop, and then I'll play along with it, or to see if there's something that can be added to it, or whatever. Of course, at that time the speaker was on, and it just about drove Surlana into madness.
Yeah, I have PTSD over it. Anyway, things I would like to see go away in 2017, as well as autoplay videos. Unverified news everywhere, especially on social media now. I'm guilty.
Fake news.
Yeah. It's more than that, though. I am guilty of this. I'm sure I've done it, and you can probably go on my Facebook timeline. I'm going to try to stop doing it. Is the panic, scaremongering, clickbaity stuff. It's like
breaking news.
Yeah, turns out this is going to kill you, and Trump said this and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, take a few minutes, go check and see if that's really true. Look at some different sources. 95% of the time, somebody I know or I'm acquainted with posts something. If I get a chance, I'll go look it up. And it takes me about 10 minutes to find out it's false.
And this is a good example of kind of tying into that is that today, with all the deaths that have been going on, somebody had put out there Bob Denver had died.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And, of course, I didn't think twice about it. I just automatically shared it. And then after I shared it, I know he didn't die this year. And I felt stupid. So this is a perfect example to verify your information before you make that post or share it, because there's a lot of crap out there that people are sharing that it's not really true. And then there was an article, I guess that remember a few weeks back when we did it about Buzz Aldrin going to the South Pole
but I wanted that to be true because it was.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was an interesting article, You
wanted it to be true.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
It was interesting, and but after reading it and finding where the source was, I realized that was a one of those articles, the fake news. So, I mean, he did go down there, but he did not tweet out that there's evil down there and blah blah blah. And so,
I wish he had. So, yeah. So. Maybe when you see something like that on social media, maybe give a little hesitation, think about it. If you've got the chance to go see if it's verified, Now, when somebody's died, that's usually that's been right on the money, unless you said that somebody's trying to sneak something in to be silly. One other thing I'd like to see go away, and I hope I don't upset anyone when I say this. I'm not trying to upset anyone or alienate anyone because there are people that do this. I would like to see a reduction, if it won't go away, in emotional blackmail posts on Facebook. And what I mean by that is, if you don't share, let's see how many people share this who are actually my friend. If you don't share this, it means you don't care about me. Let me tell you something about me personally, and I'm just talking about me, myself. If I'm friends with you on Facebook and you can see my posts, I think highly of you. If I don't, we're not friends. You won't see what I have to say. And if you don't know or you're unsure how I really feel about you, send me a message, private, or ask me for my phone number and we'll discuss it. But if you can see me, if you see anything I post, you're in good with me. And if we're not friends on social media, it's because you haven't reached out to me. Now, I'm an old-fashioned girl. I don't make the first move, so to speak, in making friends. So don't be offended if we're not friends. It's just because you didn't make the first move. But like I said, if you can see my tweets, if you can see my social media, if I speak to you in our chat room, if we call you by name, we care. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to respond to emotional blackmail. And that's what I call it. Oh, let's see how many likes this gets. I'm like, no.
Well,
because I like being contrary.
And let me tie this into further. There have been some posts out there where it's the post where it says, what month were you born in to find your first name of your dragon name, and then find this.
Oh, that's fun.
This is a scam. And let me tell you why, Surlana, is think about what I'm saying. What is the first month of this, of your this, and then post it into the chat.
Oh, to get your birth date?
Exactly.
Well,
it's phishing to get your information.
If you're on Facebook and you have your birthday as public, and when your birthday comes around, Facebook knows it and it shares it with everybody, then people know your birth date.
Well, mine is not posted.
Mine either.
What did we just lose something here? It just sounds like it.
No.
Did you just unplug something?
No.
We just went crazy.
Crazy dead?
Yes. Wow. I know that you could probably still hear us.
I'm even checking chat.
Oh, man. This is not good.
It's hot in here, too.
Testing 1, 2. Anyway, continue on while I try to work the board here. So
well, now I'm paranoid.
Well, don't. Just continue to...
Okay, things just went crazy dead here. Anybody still hear us in chat? Give me a shout out if you can still hear us. Okay, my sister can hear us fine. Okay, something went really super quiet in our headphones. It is like deathly quiet.
Anyway, I guess if
and hot. It's got hot in here all of a sudden.
You're at that age. So
what? Excuse you?
It's the only way I could get a reaction out of you. So I'm standing up.
I wish we could open the door, but he doesn't open the door because the cat will come in and scream.
I really wish you would.
See, you're fiddling. That's making my head go out.
Well, that's because this.
Yeah, don't wiggle that.
Well, let's just continue on with the show. It seemed like
that did seem weird. It seems so quiet.
It got quiet all of a sudden, and I don't understand why.
I mean, we don't hear any hissing.
All right,
or anything,
well, let's just continue with the show. If everybody can still hear us, that's great.
Good.
Yeah, good. So, and
it's just weird. Anyway, so let me get on to predictions. Now, one thing I was surprised to learn is I couldn't find that many predictions.
Oh.
And when I say this, I didn't want to do psychic predictions. I didn't want to do astrology predictions. And I didn't want to do Nostradamus. I have to make sure I say that right because I have another nickname for him. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do ones that sounded really super plausible, like I found last year. And I'm wondering if 2016 threw us for such a loop, we're just like, no, we're not even going to speculate. One thing from last year, holdover, is that they said, because 2016 is election year, they said it doesn't matter who wins the election. Whoever wins the presidential election is going to preside over our downfall, the end of America.
Right.
And it didn't matter who it was going to be, because things are moving forward.
And this is not your prediction.
That was something I found.
Right.
Now,
well, an interesting fact, let me throw this in, is that this year, I predicted that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election. And so
not just like because we wanted it or not. It was just that felt like that was just a fact.
The fact that
the way things were going.
And then plus, if some of our audience is familiar with Hogue prophecies, he's the guy that looks like Nostradamus. He's been on Coast to Coast, and John Hogue.
Take your word for it. I haven't heard of him.
Well, anyway, he kind of predicted. He's been predicted several elections, and he's been pretty accurate up to this point of the election. And so this election, he thought that Hillary Clinton was going to win.
Got it wrong.
He got it wrong. I mean, of course,
is he like that kind of guy, or just speculative?
He
based in facts.
He does the predictions just like Nostradamus did. He looks into what does it say?
Nice boy.
Okay, thank you. Close to Spaceboy.
My heart, my little heart says "nice boy" on it.
So, but anyway, he didn't get his thing.
Did that shock him, or?
Well, yeah, it was, because his prediction rate has been pretty accurate up to this point. But anyway,
I wonder if that means anything, that he got that wrong or anything. So, the things that were easy to find is, of course, tech and science and business and money.
Yeah.
And especially the economy, stuff about finance and money. And I'm like, oh, boring. So let's go into stuff we could actually have a discussion about then.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear things better.
I think it just kicked into overdrive. How about that?
Do you hear that?
Let me fix this real quick.
Dang.
Here.
What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe 2016 is trying to hold on with everything it's got.
It's only got an hour and 30 minutes. Okay. 2017, right?
Yes.
Tech.
There
will be a 300% growth in developments for artificial intelligence, but only a select few will actually produce something innovative that will stick.
Well, and this is a prediction for this year, because I have the thing predicting that artificial intelligence makes its way to the house, meaning that you're going to have
Alexa.
I'm thinking more on the lines of kids' toys. Could you imagine like a stuffed dinosaur that can interact with your kid and know it, and it's kind of similar to like in Blade Runner, the toy maker. He had that like bear that was working, and all these different toys that were lifelike. But I'm seeing in the coming year that you're going to have gadgets and toys and various items that artificial intelligence comes home, and it'll be able to interact with you.
Hey, on that note, did you see the dude? There's a video. He had hacked an old Teddy Ruxpin, and it was going through, I guess, an Echo. And so he talked to Alexa through the bear.
No, I hadn't seen that, but it's
freaky.
I can imagine so.
Well, AI will also get into online platforms to help, as I said before, online customers, and it will help. There'll be more artificial assistants online to help you with your purchases, chat bots for consumers. One thing I saw that's kind of sends a shiver down my spine is a speculation for this coming year. AT&T and Time Warner will probably merge to perform an evil superpower. I guess maybe AT&T.
I hope they don't, to be honest with you. But when it comes to AT&T,
you're the AT&T of people.
Yes, it is
community reference.
Yeah,
that's worrisome, isn't it? Unless our president-elect can block that, and I don't know if he can.
Well, let's just hope for the best on that one, and my prediction that I have here is quantum computing.
Yes.
We should start to see quantum computing start to make it into devices, not full-fledged.
Can you kind of explain for people like me who don't know what that really means?
Right now,
I don't even know what the word quantum means.
Basically, computing is ones and zeros.
Don't tell John.
So, quantum computing is ones and or not quantum computing. Regular computing is it's on, it's off.
Ones and zeros is switches, on, off, and that's data.
But a quantum computer they're both on and they're both off.
Oh, gosh. Is this like the cat could be dead, but it could be alive?
Well, sort of. So, think of, I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible. Regular computing is 2D. Okay. Quantum computing is 3D. So it's a variable that, it will lead to better artificial intelligence. It'll be able to calculate things and that quickly. That is not can't be quickly.
So it's faster than
conventional, and then it'll be able to explore all possibilities at once.
Dina says all computers will have flash drives instead of hard drives. Well, they already do.
Well, not all computers.
They're solid state.
They're almost to the solid state, but there's still a few leftovers from the regular disk platters. But he is right. The solid state is the direction that they're going. So, in fact, think about it this way. You'll be able to turn your computer off, and it'll remember the exact state it was in when it was on.
Wow.
So, things like that, be able to flip it on. And like, say, for instance, you were in the middle of a game and you just hit the power button. It'll remember exactly where you were, and maybe you had a spreadsheet open and you had this open, and it'll remember.
Even though you turned it off.
Even though you turned
completely.
It off. Yes.
Well, I'm kind of impressed by that. Yeah. Yet that's kind of like you have to remember to shut things off if you don't want them to be seen again, I suppose.
True, and it kind of puts a wrinkle into the old thing of have you rebooted your machine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in other words, you'd have to pretty much task kill things that are open, kind of like iPhone. You know how you have to hit the home button twice to
kill the apps individually.
Kill the apps individually. Yeah. So quantum computing is going to be. There'll be so many different breakthroughs with quantum computing once it comes out. But imagine the answer to all possibilities at once.
They're trying to blow my mind or something. You know what? I'll have to see it in action to believe it. To tell you the truth, with that, a positive prediction if this happens.
Oh, what's positive is our next break.
And I'll tell you more about that.
Yeah, so...
we went past that.
Yeah, a little bit, but not too bad. It's fine. Let's go ahead and take this next musical break, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU Network. Don't go away.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Now here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, Surlana looks crazy over there. She's laughing it up. I don't know what's going on.
My face is hot. Sorry.
Do you have a beverage over there?
I do, but
you should sip some.
It starts out cold, and then it gets, I don't know, it's you. We're in a room, the door's shut, you're heating it up.
Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do something real quick as Surlana continues to talk to you.
Yeah, so can I just go on ahead? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Well, one thing, this might be a positive. Okay, now that's distracting me. Okay, one thing that, if this is true, this will be a great thing, but we have to wait and see what the new government does. Net neutrality regulations may go away. What does that mean? This means no more regulation from your service provider to throttle or block internet connection if net neutrality goes away. Because right now they're seeing it as a publicly traded thing.
Mm-hmm. It needs to go away.
Yes. We do need an intern. I just don't know who would work for nothing like that.
Who's saying that we need an intern?
My sister.
Oh, okay.
Driverless cars are coming.
I knew you. I'm glad you brought this up.
Not till 2021.
Not to 2021.
Not fully on the roads.
You've already seen Tesla Motors.
Yeah, sort of.
Has the self-driving car situation.
Well, I mean, electric.
You're going to see more of that coming this year, though.
I
don't think it's going to be full-fledged until, like you're saying. That's my prediction. Is you're going to see.
Yeah, it's not going to be like on the roads. Everybody be doing it, or So, but are you on board with that, or?
Well, okay. Think about this for a second.
I would like it for you.
Wouldn't you love the fact of the car would drive me instead of me driving?
Yes.
In the sense that.
But you'll still be upset.
No, not really, because
I'll
be able to take a nap. Okay, it's like this. Remember the days early in our relationship, I was taking the bus. I like taking the bus to work, and
it's because you're a freak.
No, it's because I could zone out. I don't have to think about driving. I know that I'm going to be there at a certain amount of time because they're time regimented.
Didn't you have to sit next to a stranger?
Yeah, but that didn't bother me. I just put on my headphones, listen to my music, and
No.
These buses that I was on are not like the buses that you get downtown.
Oh man, you've got stories about those, don't you?
The buses that I was on, it was more comfortable. The seats were.
Those were the long haul buses coming all the way from Clear Lake to downtown Houston, and that's over 30 miles.
Mm-hmm. It was about a 40-minute
minute, yeah.
And it was I enjoyed it. I had one of those portable movie players. I'd watch movies sometimes. Or I had my headphones on, listening to music. So I had time to rest between, getting to work or getting home. And, it was pleasant. And, I didn't care sitting next to somebody.
I guess I'm too precious for the bus.
I just would tune them out, and just enjoy my ride.
Well, something that will probably make you feel safe and secure about next year. No Terminator-style self-aware networks. They're pretty sure it won't happen.
Okay.
I thought that would make you feel better.
What, no Skynet yet?
No Skynet. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Well, however, you can worry about this. Biometric scanning technology will rise. Now, they already have this right now at my workplace for people who don't have their own dedicated computer or laptop at their desk or their station. There's people who do the thumbprint scanning to clock in and out. I have to clock in and out, but I have a dedicated computer for that. So the main reason we're going to biometric scanning of body parts, eyeballs, whatever, is because traditional typed-in passwords are just getting too easy to hack and crack.
Mm-hmm.
So biometrics, along with geolocation, may be the only way to get around these attacks to get into, accounts and whatnot. However, as you know, as we've seen since the birth of technology, the more you evolve something to be secure,
the more easy it is to break it.
The more people are out there trying to break it and get into it. So that means cyber attacks will just continue to grow and to evolve and counter.
Well, that's definitely the trend.
That's just life.
Denial of service attacks are usually the greatest one. If you, I guess, let's just say a website. If you personally visit the site Drudge Report, recently they were attacked for 4 hours straight with a heavy denial of service attack. And what that is when a computer goes to a website, that's one computer and it doesn't really bring down the site. But if you have many computers going to a website at the same time, it makes it impossible.
Server can't take it.
Yes, well, a server can't take it, and plus other people can't get to that site because it's being bombarded. That's a denial of service attack.
DDoS.
And you're going to see a lot more of those. And, recently, with, in fact, Steam.com or Valve.com or whatever.
Steam, Valve Corporation.
So, when...
they just recently got it attacked.
They got attacked recently as well.
And you're like, no, I can't get to the cheap game sale.
So you're going to see a lot of that coming this year. Cyber attack,
Well, they're going to be going after the energy place, financial websites, and healthcare, which is a lot of personal info on the healthcare site. So those will all be targets.
Well, the point is that you could start with these small sites to kind of test your skills, and then you go to these other sites and to really bring it home. So you're going to definitely see a lot of cyberspace situations come up in the news, and this is part of the coming year.
There'll be some breakthroughs in 2017 in medicine. But I'm going to have to wonder, but will that actually get to the consumer/patient in the same year? It takes a while for a breakthrough to go through some testing and trials before we can have it. So they're predicting human head transplants and babies with DNA from 3 parents.
Well, I think recently they did have a baby that was born with that. You're going to see a lot of gene editing situations where, maybe you don't want this kind of hair color for your kid, or maybe it's something for yourself where you're diabetic and they'll be able to gene edit to where, to cure simple, I don't want to call diabetic a simple disease to be fixed, but, it's definitely something that we could possibly see in the near future, having a fix for it, having to take shots for being a diabetic. But gene editing is definitely.
You said they could fix that before you even are born.
Yeah, before you're born. So it almost seems like the genetics thing that we see or read about in Star Trek is on the verge of.
And look what happened to Star Trek when they started fiddling with genetics. They ended up having to outlaw it because it got out of hand and went all wrongity wrong. So there could be a treatment for dementia. And I found out this last weekend that could be a good thing because I'm beginning to think it may run in my dad's side of the family and I could become a babbling idiot.
Well, I think our audience know who the babbling idiot is in this group.
I don't know how you'll be able to tell, but Microsoft, of all people, I'm waiting for your jokes on this. I'm ready. I'm waiting. I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to pause for you. Microsoft is opening its own lab to look into cracking the code of diseased cells to fight cancer.
Okay, well, I'm looking for the joke on this one.
It's Microsoft.
Okay,
hope they don't run that lab like they run Windows 10 or 8 or 7.
Hopefully they don't blue screen.
Well, one thing that we benefited from 2016, one of the few entertainment things we enjoyed was we streamed the heck out of everything.
Do we ever?
And 2016 changed the way people watch TV thanks to Amazon and Netflix with their mega blockbuster hits, original series. This is now mainstream, no pun intended. successes like The Crown on Netflix showed that online companies can beat traditional broadcasters like ABC, NBC, CBS at their own game.
By the way, The Crown, you should definitely watch it.
I'll get to it. That's the type of thing I'm interested in. But it's blurring the line because they're saying that The Crown, for instance, costs $10 million an episode. And TV broadcasting stations don't have those budgets like Netflix and Amazon, so they're just killing it.
Yeah.
So, things we can look forward in 2017 from Netflix, they're going to air their own adaptation of the classic Anne of Green Gables, which I don't know why they're going to do that because there's already a definitive version out there starring Megan Follows. Go check it out. You'll like it. It's the...
but is it binge-worthy?
Yes, it's the story of a young orphan girl who's... She kind of lives in a little fantasy world to keep the... the everyday crappiness of life at bay.
There's a story of a young orphan lady.
It's sweet. She gets into cute adventures, and then she goes to school. A boy pulls her hair and calls her Carrots. She jumps up, breaks her slate over his head, and he falls in love with her. So they're going to adapt other shows that already have serious fan bases out there, like A Series of Unfortunate Events and American Gods.
Lemony Snicket. I'm looking forward to that.
So those are just some shows, and I'm trying to get into some other stuff, but like I said, it's difficult to get into TV movies because books. As long as books exist, it's going to be really hard to take my attention away from anything.
And I think I made the comparison to myself and the Borg. I mean, I go to a movie...
You assimilate.
I assimilate it. I can't... I'll sit there and I will just download it all and, get
They
it.
have Riff Tracks and Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Amazon, sis, if you're listening. But you have to pay for it. So... something that's coming that I'm really super interested in.
Yeah.
Cheesecake M&Ms.
Okay.
That's worth waiting for.
We all have our priorities.
Minimum wage will increase.
Okay.
Gas prices will increase. And maybe somebody can elaborate on this one. The remaining JFK files will be released. I think the time constriction on that is up.
Yeah.
2017.
So, I guess...
You know what I'm talking about?
The Warren Commission report?
I think so. But the thing I'm most interested in, because I don't know how this is tied to quote-unquote prophecy or whatever, but there's going to be a kick-butt total solar eclipse on August 21st, and it's going to... I don't think it's all at the same time, but it's going to cover the entire country at some point. It'll roll over the entire country.
Really?
So I don't think we're going to miss that. I mean, nobody shouldn't be unable to see it. So, let's see. We probably will get a season 3 of Mr. Robot, a season 2 of Stranger Things. Bill Nye the Science Guy, you remember him?
Yep, he's coming out with his own Netflix show.
He's gonna have a Netflix show. If he'll just keep his personal politics out of it, that might actually be interesting. So he's been very politicky.
Just saying, I'm going to just say this for both sides of the fence. It just once you bring politics into the mix, you're alienating half your audience right there.
If it doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about, I don't get it. Like Sesame Street, why are puppets talking about politics? I don't get it. Anyway, new battery technology could double smartphone battery life. Lord, we need that.
I've heard that. Where it can single charge will last for days.
It needs to. There could be an artificial pancreas that gets FDA approval and gets out there. Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 8? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 5, the V, and 3 eyes.
3, that's 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the next Star Wars movie coming out next Christmas.
Right. So, like I said, the first head transplant, I just don't know. Justice League Part 1 movie.
Yeah.
Superman.
Since we watched Superman versus Batman, you're kind of intrigued by it now. So you're kind of.
Well, I definitely want to go see Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, yes.
I don't care about the Justice League so much. Kingsman sequel.
The Kingsman sequel, yeah.
Production of Tesla Model 3, starting at $35,000. So get 2. Let's see. China's just going to get more nuclear stuff. There's going to be a Mall of the World. Not Mall of America, Mall of the World starts construction, but I don't know where. Let's see. Deadpool 2. Let's see. Samsung will finally release a foldable smartphone.
Well, hopefully when it folds, it doesn't explode.
Break. We will end the year in low gas prices, but first, I guess they're going to rise.
Well, it is that time of the year where gas prices start to kind of go up a little bit.
We're going to be more in space, and when I say we, I mean humanity, not necessarily USA. There'll be more exoplanet survey satellites out there, and more people other than us going to the moon.
Well, yeah, you're gonna see the trend of like for example, what is it, Elon Musk, and these various people have been trying to commercialize space. You're going to start to see it more kind of develop and blossom, and where the average Joe can make it to space.
I know some people I'd like to send to space. California high-speed rail will be fully built. Now, these are predictions. I don't know if these are solid facts. There's a lot of stuff going on in Dubai, Egypt. Let's see. NASA's Space Launch System test launches. SpaceX Dragon spacecraft delivers humans to ISS. Boeing Crew Space Transportation. Okay, good. I'm so glad Boeing's got something to do. I was worried about them. World forecast population to reach. That's just a big number here. I'm just going to copy paste that, throw it in the chat. This is the world population number. That's a big one. Sales of electric vehicles will reach a big number too. Global web traffic equals 6.5 exabytes. What are exabytes? I only know up to tera.
Well, isn't it giga and then tera and then exabytes?
Bit, it's a byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, exabyte. EXABYTES.
And then once again, what is the significance on that again?
It's a big number, and you're supposed to go, ooh. The slow death of carbon energy era. We'll see. Oh, thank God. A laundry folding robot is coming. I prefer throw it in a basket and forget about it. An e-shower will replace your shower. Oh, man. Predicting crimes before they happen. I guess Minority Report's going to be here.
I guess the future looks bright for Patrick.
I don't know. You'd think he'd call in by now. I know maybe he's probably out partying.
He's partying out.
He's partying.
Oh, trust me. After we finally get a recent picture for him, that picture is cool.
Yeah, we'll never be that fabulous.
No.
2 students develop a plastic-eating bacteria to save our waters. We could reverse the state of brain-dead patients. An oral inhaler may replace insulin injections. That might be good news for you. And that's kind of all I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I was really shocked about how much I could not find that was not astrology, Nostradamus, or psychic predictions.
So you opted to go for the everything else but that. Okay. Let's see here.
Of course, Kay knows what exabytes are.
And did he mention it in the
10 to the 18th is
bytes.
Is exabytes.
Definitely.
Do you understand that, math person?
I do.
I'm sorry for the crinkling, but these little candy hearts are good.
Yeah, it's Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day on December 31st, 2016.
I got to push out that merchandising stuff.
I got a heart that just said feelings.
Feelings.
Like, that covers it.
Well, Surlana, it is the top of the hour, and this show goes so quick. Can you believe it? Yeah, she's got her mouth full. So you're listening to
not over.
Space. No, we got another hour to rock and roll. No, we've got another hour here. Space Cadets are tuned in, and everybody's having a good time. So just sit back, relax, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBUnetwork.com. Don't go anywhere.
listening to Spaceboy Universe. Now here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Indeed, we're back. I am Spaceboy.
Oh, I'm Surlana, and I'm not paying attention.
And we make up the magical duo of Spaceboy Universe. So, I have a few quick predictions real quick here. I guess another top 10 for you. Italy's banking system is going to collapse.
Yeah, I read that too.
The U.S. and China will engage in a trade war. The Taliban will take over Afghanistan again. Let's see here. Marie Le Pen is elected president of France. North Korea goes full nuclear. ISIS unleashes carnage in Europe. And let's see, a crippling cyber attack will happen.
So, total bummer fest.
Yes, this is the terrifying list. Genocide in Africa and Asia. A major war will happen. Well, of course, at any given time you've got major wars all over the world, but I imagine something very significant is going to happen. A U.S. insurgency, people, because we're so polarized here in the United States, it's almost like the boy, I can't believe it. The Hatfields and McCoy, kind of situation.
Civil War, basically.
Civil War, where one part of the United States will feel like they can't trust the other part, and you'll start to see these insurgencies pop up. So there's a quick top 10 for you about 10 terrifying predictions for 2017. So, take them for what they're worth. I don't write them, I just read them and let you decide on what value they are to you in your life. And I'm looking over to Surlana, and she's got a heart stuck in her mouth. Are you still...
It's better than on my sleeve.
Okay, yes. So, were you saying something before we went to break there?
No.
I knew you were going to say that.
I was laughing at you because I can't throw candy properly for you to catch it.
You don't throw it up in the air. You got to toss it to me.
Oh, there's another person that just passed away. William Christopher, who played Father Mulcahy on MASH, passed away. And I didn't know he was still alive.
Kind of a last-minute thing.
Yeah. There's maybe 1 to 3 hours left for somebody to, kick the bucket, and I hope that doesn't happen. So,
at least in the Central Time Zone.
Yeah. I just, I don't know why I'm thinking magically that when the year rolls over in an hour, like everything's going to fix and reset. It could just be the same old day-to-day garbage, but I don't know why I think that. Maybe that's just my wishful thinking. It was that bad.
I think mentally everybody feels that once the new year starts, it's like a rebirth, if you will, and so, and it might be just slightly mental, but I think for a lot of people it looks like a new beginning, a new start, if you will. Hey, I just got this in. Who hasn't died is Keith Richards.
Amazingly.
Yeah, so the Rolling Stones, he's still very much alive.
It must be all those preservatives.
And speaking of which, some guy was raising money to make sure or protect Betty White so she wouldn't be, the next victim
of 2016.
2016.
Like 2016's a curse,
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that anime or that cartoon we saw on Facebook. It had two people, and one was 2016 and the other one was 2017. And in the background, you see all these fires, and then you see a gas can being held by 2016. And the line was, okay, it's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
Like, here you have all this mess, take it over into the new year.
Mm-hmm. So, how are we doing over there, Surlana?
What? I'm just looking at chat.
Okay, well, what's going on? Do we have anybody that wants to call in at 818-616-7286?
Feel free to call in and just still crap on 2016.
Yeah, this is time to crap
your
on...
predictions, or what you hope would happen, or what you hope doesn't happen. I mean, if you must talk about politics, I understand, but rather not. But yeah, 818-616-SBUN.
You know, it's sad that we've reached this point of the show that it's just kind of like.
Well, like I said, I just don't know why I couldn't find more information, and I used.
Okay, here's another prediction for you. Apparently, more people will rely on online reselling for disposable income. 2016 was the year where secondhand has finally lost its stigma. Buying secondhand is becoming more popular, and consumers are more quickly looking to online marketplaces to create a source of disposable income. Consumers are also making their initial purchasing decisions based on which brand or style has the highest chance of reselling. So there you go.
Basically, eBay, online garage
so
sales,
I guess you're going to
Craigslist.
see kind of a pickup on that, and to earn some extra cheddar on the side.
It gives me ideas, but
how about this one? Smart employers will use technology to better engage workers. The labor market for 2017 will continue to be impacted by the infiltration of technology, the needs of millennial and Gen Z workers, the collaboration revolution, and the desire of all workers to find an acceptable equilibrium between work and non-worker activities. There you go.
what does that mean, though, in real terms?
So, millennials and Gen Zers,
I don't know who those people
they
are.
millennials are someone who is, they say millennial, if you're a millennial, you were born in 84 and kind of forward. And then Generation Z is more like the kids after that generation. So the more, So thank you, caller, for calling in. Who is this?
This is Dino.
Hey,
Good evening,
Dino.
everybody.
You sound great, Dino.
Oh, no, I don't. I've been doing too much the last couple of days. Too many people calling me, but I do wish everybody that they realize that this is nothing but a time to turn over. It's nothing really but a change in calendars. And, with that in mind, I hope that people will realize that this is symbolic and that you don't need to necessarily do something new if what you're doing is working. But if what you're doing is not working, this is a time to say, let me try it a different way, And hopefully that is, something that you're doing with love and caring, that it's not totally selfish,
Are you listening over there?
And
what are you eyeballing me?
I come in peace, not to start fights.
Not to be a referee.
Well, I didn't hear some of my, predictions. I don't really believe in. But, since you guys wound me up, you didn't pass on some of my predictions, number one.
I didn't realize I was supposed to say those out loud.
Well, I was just trying to help.
Well, no.
But I figured,
If you're on the air, let's hear some of them. Let's put it out there.
Okay, well, let's start one of them. I said about an hour ago that I predict that pigs will fly, but only in tourist class for next year. And I also predicted that, dogs and cats will sign a peace treaty, but they will live, in separate settlements.
Dogs and cats living together. That's a line from Ghostbusters.
Sleeping together, bathing together, too, And that was another trend that I think we'll see in interior and architectural design, that co-bathtubs will be installed in all new housing. But with that trend will go another trend, which is babies will have their own showers. So,
okay.
I have a few others here. Now, I know that you make really good music, Space, and I really do enjoy it. I do have to get that CD. But, there have been some suggestions for new song titles, and you could just put the music to them. And I suggested you need a song title called Fruit Loops.
Well, there is, isn't there a music recording
software
thing called Fruity Loops?
Yeah, Fruity Loops.
For the PC?
But,
is there really?
Yeah. Fruity Loops. And I know Kay has one
well,
somewhere. He had one.
Well, I just wanted to remind people as we roll through midnight in the different time zones that some people are saying that people are shooting off illegal fireworks. A horrible thing. And you have a right to self-defense. You can shoot back.
It's all legal here. It's all legal here.
Not here, and it scares the little animals and the veterans.
We have we've got fireworks, guns, alcohol, anything you could need. We also have no zoning laws, so pretty much do anything anywhere.
Okay, well, that's nice to have freedom, but that is a no-no. In seriousness, people shouldn't be shooting their guns off. A lot of these people, drunk or not, you have to realize what goes up in the air must come down, and it can hurt people.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, don't do that. If you're going to shoot your gun, shoot it into the ground somewhere, but not up in the air.
Well, that ties in with guns safety anyway. So it's important to, you shouldn't be shooting your gun off anyway. Gun responsibility. Gun is not meant to be a form of entertainment like that.
No, it's not. It's a horrible thing, and then it makes people who need guns for self-defense or for reasonable purposes, it makes them look weird because you get thrown into the same category. But back on my predictions, a lot of people have said for years that California is first and everything, but on New Year's Eve, it was said by Catalina that California is last, but K28 pointed out, no, Hawaii is last. But, I don't think they care because they're on Hawaiian time.
Mm-hmm. Everybody cares about their time only.
Yeah.
Texas time.
Well, for those of you who have not been to Hawaii, that's what they have kind of a loose way of going about. If you make an appointment for 9 o'clock, 9:20 is okay. It's Hawaiian time. Hang loose.
I mean, it sounds like a war zone outside.
Yeah, I don't like that. On 4th of July, we used to have that when I lived in my old place, and the dumb cops would tell the people, oh, if you have illegal fireworks, go down to the beach, when I lived at the beach. And I go, don't go to the beach, because they chased away some of the bank swallows and some endangered species that nest in there in July, and so finally they outlawed them, but people were saying, oh, we're not doing any harm. No, you were, and you're polluting the beach. And then we'd go do beach cleanups every year, and guess what we picked up most of? Cigarette butts and parts of fireworks, plastic and stuff. Okay, I'm off my high horse now. Another prediction is that, I think women, it's about time, and they will finally get equal pay with men. But then they will also start to pay for dinners and tickets.
Well, I'm all for equality.
Yeah, well, I'm just making these predictions, like you guys asked for. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I know that people take 4th of July seriously too, but the only people around here that take it seriously are Jean Vitteau. Boom. Okay. I think that a lot of people are using internet radio, and I think what will happen is that internet radio will continue to grow. But as it grows, people will decide that it's too much money to pay for a faster internet, and they'll start driving electric bicycles everywhere. So instead of sending a message, you'll just bicycle messenger it over.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get to that point, because we'd like to stick around for a little while with the universe.
Well, I think in 2017, more people will become more humble, and they will get off their high horse and go onto their low scooters.
One could only hope.
Yes. And, there's a lot of things that could happen, but I think that if we do possibly, Steve Bassett and bless his heart, Stephen Greer are pushing for big disclosure this year, in 2017. But if disclosure happens, I predict that the government will tell us to just ignore it.
Yeah, I don't know that we can trust anything the government says, regardless of who's president. It's because it's not coming from the president. It's whoever's been holding this info back. It's up to them to say yes, it is, or yes, it is, or y'all a bunch of crazy people. But that, every year is going to be the year, they say, and I just say, not if it keeps benefiting someone to keep it quiet.
Well, here's another thing I predict about that subject, which is some of the astronauts who we've lost recently. Apparently, we no longer have the original 7 astronauts. They've all died officially. And I predict that out of their estates will come some secret information that they couldn't say during their lives. They don't care. Their offspring and families who were threatened with, their pensions being cut or death or dismemberment if they release these secrets that the astronauts knew, they'll say the heck with it, and some secrets will come out that they brought to their graves, but they will resurface now.
Think so?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Yes, I hope so.
I mean, you think they left some information that we could find? I mean, because a lot of people, they won't come out until, they're at the end of their life and everybody they know is gone.
Confessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one guy that I always show the video to, that happened 3 years ago, Richard Dolan interviewed the ex-CIA agent who was on his deathbed, and I asked Richard when I saw him about, when's the last time I saw him? About 11 months ago in person. I said, when are you going to release this guy's name, this secret, guy that was confessing? And he told me he's not dead yet. The guy was on his deathbed 3 years ago, and he got videotaped, but we can't really find out if he's real because he hasn't died yet. It's ironic.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in seriousness, I did, at the Contact into the Desert 2 years ago, get to ask the astronaut who died just before, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, by Skype, because he was lecturing for about an hour and a half via Skype from his home in Roswell, New Mexico. And so I got the microphone at one point, and I said, look, you've been to the moon, you've been up in space, I'm sure that you have signed security oaths. And I said, are there any security oaths? I didn't want to say near the end of your life, but I think I said something to the effect of, will you at some point release secrets that that maybe you could tell us things? I was, hint, hint, shove, shove, tell us that you saw flying saucers on the moon or something, because he had admitted during his lifetime that he felt that, yes, ETs are real, and, we've been visited, but he didn't give us any details. How did he know this? And being the trooper that he was, he said, yes, I have taken security oaths to answer my question, but he said, I will never reveal those oaths. Well, that's why he's alive. When he's not alive anymore, I was waiting, throw us a bone, please,
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe that'll happen. Catalina has asked here on chat whether the moon has hamburger joints. Well, if it does, then there's plenty of cheese to make cheeseburgers.
Aren't we doing a show on the moon?
Yes, we're going to be doing the show on the moon in February.
The 11th, conspiracies
and great.
Things like that. And on the 21st of next month, January, we're going to talk about Linda Moulton Howe.
Actually, that's January, yeah.
January. That's what I said, January.
Well, hold on. Well, before you go ahead, next month's show, on the 7th, we're going to be talking about the Dulce War, the event that happened with the aliens. And
you've got that book.
Yeah, and so we've got the 7th, and then we're inviting a friend of the show that we met at our Mini Maker Fair, Red Viking Dave. He's a wealth of pop culture, and
he's also a podcaster.
And we're going to interview with him.
Conspiracy theories.
And so, there'll be some conspiracies there. And then Linda, we're going to do a show on Linda Moulton Howe.
She's not going to be on the show.
Yeah, we're going to be talking
about her and all this, some of her best cases.
Yes, and then finally
you know what? If you're going to be talking about her, maybe we'll get lucky again. Remember when you were talking about Stan Romanek? Maybe she'll phone in.
I'm rolling the dice. We'll see what you never know with the universe.
I'm sure she's way
you start
too busy.
talking about people, they want to say, "Hey, why are you talking about me?" And they call in. What a great technique to get guests on your show.
Hey, you don't know until you try. I mean, I don't think we got the street
Why are you
cred.
talking about me?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the 28th, we're going to be talking about underground bases. And so,
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean alien related, but
it I've just, and I don't mind telling people, I've reached out to Anthony Sanchez because he's pretty knowledgeable about these underground bases and the system of tunnels that connect all of the, southwest region of the United States through these underground tunnels. And so, I've reached out to him. I haven't heard yet. I mean, it's early. If we can get him on, great. If not, we're still going to talk about underground bases on the 28th. So next month is really going to be an interesting month, especially with the 7th on the Dulce War, and then, of course, the 21st with Linda Moulton Howe, and then the 28th on the bases.
I like to talk about her career and like the most fascinating
cases that she's had. Just kind of like similar to the Stan Romanek story that we did.
Well, I'm sure she's far too busy to care about our little
you never know.
Dog and pony show.
It's kind of like if I could push that picture out there of me in my spacesuit and her in that picture.
She might call you as a cease and desist,
Surlana, I want to stop you right there. If you want to be big, you got to think big. You can't be calling your show a dog and pony show. Have a little bit of, pride in what you're doing.
You're right. It's more of a trained monkey show.
I mean, these are great topics that are coming up, but I just want to warn you: if you can't have what's his name, Anthony Sanchez, for the bases, if you can't get him, then don't settle for Dirty Sanchez. Okay, so don't do that.
Oh Lord have mercy!
Make sure you keep your standards high.
And then we'll be getting back to some other things. We'll get back to some history topics. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be some big technology stuff we're going to talk about soon. And I'd like to talk about a gaming topic, but I just can't think of one. So
I'm sure at some point,
I just hope that you'll at some point try to find someone, because I've been made aware recently, as you check YouTube, about the preponderance of Bigfoot researchers. I think the number has grown in recent years, and there's some really new information coming out. So if you could get someone to come on, another Sasquatch show, I think this is
funny you bring that up, because on the 18th of February, we've booked a guy that's a cryptozoology guy, and we'll be covering topics. So you're on the right track. We're thinking the same way the Space Cadets are thinking, and so these are topics that are coming up, and we definitely got him booked on the 18th of February. I don't want to give his name out just yet. But,
the crypto guy?
Yeah, the crypto guy. He is known. He's been out there on some well-known television shows, and so the probably the worst thing we could do is probably shoot ourselves in the foot and say, hey, come on, and then it get canceled because he gets grabbed to another network. So, but the way we're...
Well, I only brought it up because my big toe was twitching, and speaking of that, maybe we need an ESP person on. We haven't had that, someone who really is into, ESP or remote viewing again, to pick up on that subject.
Yeah, we've got shows lining up as we speak. I'm sure you can tell I'm smiling behind the mic, because there's a lot of good stuff coming up. I don't want to give it a lot of away, but this next month, it's looking good. But Dino, we got another call coming in.
Okay, well, I'm real excited for you, and the next thing you can do after you finish all those topics is bring in some Canadians, because they're neglected. All right.
Okay, thank you,
for
Dino.
the show tonight.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye. Happy New Year. All right. Who's our next caller? Caller? Hello?
Are you there? Are you there?
I am. And I know who this is. It's
Is
Mr.
it our favorite?
Mr. Fabulous.
This You can actually hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
I actually hear you.
yeah.
Are you not out partying,
Oh.
Patrick, and doing?
Oh, no. I quit doing that years ago. No, I wanted to. I had called in earlier because you said if people could hear you, and you guys sound great tonight. I wanted to tell you, it sounds better than ever.
Well, there was some kind of weird dead
Yes,
silence that
something
we were.
with the
Something
equipment.
went bizarre, and then it went way up in volume, and just like, whoa, what happened there?
Yeah.
We're in Mercury retrograde, guys.
Oh,
Lord.
no.
Yeah, these kind of things are happening all over the place, everywhere.
We are trying to avoid that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, you can't avoid that one. It encompasses all of us. No, first of all, I wanted to thank you so much for the past year of having me on your show.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've loved having you on the show, and I from the moment I heard you back on Mark Schwartz program, Truth Funders, it's been a pleasure, getting you on the Spaceboy Universe show, and we've loved every moment that you've come on, and then of course, outside of the program, getting your emails and learning more about you has been a real treat.
Well, thank you very much. And also, I want to wish you guys a very happy and prosperous, and hopefully everything in your new year that you visualize will manifest for you.
Well, that's what we're hoping for.
Well, you got to start visualizing something.
Well, usually when I visualize things, it's usually an animal or a place or something. But
I just have that old TV Static Snow in my headspace. There's just nothing there. I got to think of something.
Surlana likes the power of suggestion, so I'm suggesting to you guys to be more successful in 2017 than you were in 2016.
Well,
we can only go up from here, I hope.
Yeah,
I still, even though the power of suggestion, it can be strong, I still have not dreamed about a praying mantis being. I can't believe I haven't. I've had the satanic dreams again, where, characters are talking to the devil and stuff, so I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah. Well, there's no time limit on those things. We'll see what happens. But my New Year's resolutions are the same every year. I embrace uncertainty because that's all we can do in this day and age. I learned the old saying, carry water, chop wood, and to just keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start making things difficult, drama will enter the picture, and then all of this chaos will ensue. And believe me, if you look around the world, it's just always going to be chaotic. It's all part of some. It just seems like it's all part of some pattern, the way things are occurring.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. In fact,
what comes around, goes around.
Remember, it's the loop thing that things happen in loops. I know you think I'm crazy, but even before.
No, it's because we got into a tiff about this in the car about your life is like in a loop. It's in a pattern. Yeah, it's called going up, getting up, going to work, and coming home. Everybody does it.
But
what is it? What exciting thing are we supposed to be doing?
The thing is that I see things beyond just that in general that happens in loops, and of course there is this book I read about Pendulum, I think is the name of the book, and I can't think of the author right now, where things, I guess, are in a loop kind of situation, where a pendulum is kind of a loop.
Back and forth.
Where, things go from one side of the pendulum and then swings back. And I guess this author is talking about how we go from a me kind of situation to going to a we situation. And so I definitely see loops like that are beyond just getting up, going to work, coming home, going to bed kind of thing.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, because I have studied this stuff for so many years, I see a lot of patterns that a lot of people just accept as non-patterns, just as random acts of life.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had too many instances in my life to see it that way. But it's just a lot of times, like I said before, it may be in the way DNA is designed in all of our minds. Some people will see life as very fantasy-like. Other people will see it at more of a realistic point of view. Some people, when you say they're realistic, people will call them negative. I don't necessarily see it that. I think sometimes you have to ground yourself in the reality, because that's the only way you're going to make yourself.
That's what I call myself,
forward.
a realist, and he calls me a negative Nancy. I'm like, no, these are the facts. This is what's happened. This is what will probably happen, just based on past experience. And I'm just like, whether it's negative or not, that's just. I feel like that's just what is. But I don't know.
I don't know. And on the flip side, I refuse to accept.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And that's the beauty of conversation. That's the beauty of, even when I'm on your show and we talk, I don't ever expect anybody to totally 100% agree or disagree with anything that I come up with. I share the information like I do on my blog, and I leave it out there for people to decide for themselves. I don't preach to people. I say, here's how I see life. This is how it works for me. I write about it, and if you see it that way, great. Oh, I wanted to say Happy New Year to all your space cadets, too. I don't want to forget them. They're always so nice to me when I'm on your show.
We have a great group. It's a wonderful group, and
Patrick's such a pro.
Yeah, you are a professional, sir.
Yeah,
he's more pro than we are.
Thank you for that. I don't know about that, but you guys are doing a great job. You get better all the time, which is what you can ask for. But I'm not going to make any predictions other than I'll get to that. I've posting stuff all day long. I just wanted to call you guys and thank you so much on the air for allowing me to be a guest on your great show. And I wish you continued success. And I wanted to say one other thing. I watched a movie last night I hadn't watched in a while. It's one of my favorite top 10 movies of all time. And Surlana, you already know what it is. It's Forrest Gump. Because you had mentioned that once to me before.
I'd never seen it, so.
Yeah, I tell you what, it is a wonderful film. If you have not seen it, I tell everybody to watch it, because it really answers those questions either way. You see his characters that have the realistic point of view, and then you have Forrest Gump, who just sort of does whatever comes along, and all these magical things happen in the life. And then then you see the feather floating along, and the question is answered: is it all by design, or is it just all random? And sometimes maybe it's just both things appearing that way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, guys, I want to say thank you again. Happy New Year to all. And we'll probably talk in the future.
Oh, most definitely, Patrick. You're one of our go-to guests, and you will definitely be back in 2017. So don't think of it as any other way.
Exactly.
Hey. All right, guys. You take care. Thanks again.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Bye.
Bye. All right, Surlana. So let's take a quick break since we're past a little bit. But you're listening to Spaceboy Universe, and this should be a treat. We're going to play a little bit of Blast from the Past.
And now, here's a
Blast from the Past.
I'm sure you might have that information, do you?
I don't have that information because as much as I enjoy this subject, I'm between loads of laundry, so I don't have a lot of time.
Hey, Surlana, if they want to become a friend of the show on Facebook, what do they need to do?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to pass a few tests. We're thinking about enforcing that, that American Ninja Warrior thing. That might be a good one to see who's really worthy and really wants it bad enough.
I turn to you, Surlana, and ask you, how does it look out there? Are we actually getting people listening compared to last year?
Well, last year when we had no such thing as a webcast, when no one was listening.
What I meant was...
So things are looking up.
Surlana, would you like to start off by saying a few words to kick us off, or...
Like, dear Lord, please bless this webcast that kind of words, or...
It means love when your wife turns over in bed and she looks at you and she says, you know what? I just want to punch you in the face.
I just want to punch you in the face.
Just because you're just so good looking.
If you do not call in within the next 2 minutes, I'm going to talk about cultural imperialism theory. 713-701-5214. Or I'm going to talk about theory. Yes, call in with your favorite pie recipe. We'll put it on the internet. And apparently Spaceboy doesn't like my diet iced tea.
Oh, that is
I'm not crazy
nasty.
about it. It's not what I thought it was going to be either. But life is full of disappointments.
That's like finding leaves on the ground in a puddle and then boiled to make some kind of drink that.
Yeah, that's their new fall line: boiled leaves in a puddle.
Well, I mean, that's exactly how. I mean, I love tea, but that was just nasty. E.T. the extraterrestrial.
God, no!
Where did that come from? I must be thinking of.
I'm gonna say it. E.T. the extra testicle.
I did not mean that. I think our audience knows better than that. I think it just didn't come across correctly.
I don't feel well.
In fact, I've heard that they want to use the voice of. Why do I always get a brain fart when I'm like right on?
Because you're under pressure, and you're live, and there could be lots of people listening.
Who did Willy Wonka? Gene Hackman? No, not Gene Hackman.
Oh my gosh! I would pay money to see Gene Hackman as Willy Wonka.
Wrong Gene. Anyway,
somebody call Hollywood.
So Gene.
Oh my God!
Is it Gene Wild?
Gene Hackman.
Gene Wild. Hey, tune in here.
Wait, no, I want to write this down.
Gene Wilder? Is it Wild?
Yes,
there.
dear.
So there you go, a blast from the past, and it still cracks me up there. I know you were cracking up a little bit there, Surlana.
I was going, good choice.
It amazes me when I listen to that how far we've come. And
I think we had more fun last year doing this show than this year.
Well, yeah.
I think we've had too many bad things happen to us.
Yeah, just
this year.
Terrible thing.
And it reflects in the show, unfortunately.
But those were some magical moments. Hopefully, we'll have more magic moments this year, and with me flubbing up like I like to do, I'm sure it'll entertain you.
Bev says, "I remember that one. I laughed so hard I cried testicles."
So hopefully this year is going to be a good year. And by the way, it was great to hear Patrick. He's such a swell guy, and it's always nice to talk to him.
Over him.
Yeah, we do. I mean, there's not many people we do. The only other I can think of is Solaris Blue Raven. We say a lot of good things about her. And
I want to read her book. I've got her book, but I read the first paragraph and went, "Wow, this is too advanced for me." I'd read it, but I'm not sure I would get it. Maybe I'd have to have it explained to me, probably. But I'll take a chance.
You can read it and go to the source, and I'm sure she would tell you, okay, this is what that means, or this is what that means.
I envy people who can write anything, whether it's fiction or biography or just. I want to slap our friend Leanne because she just has stories just dripping off of her, and I just want to smack her. You hear those people who are so creative and they can do so many cool, creative things, and you just want to punch them in the face. Because they're so freaking awesome.
Surlana is very, very, very.
Like you do the digital music thing. If I could do it, you do. I could think of all the cool mixes I want to do in my head. I think of things like I've seen on YouTube. I was thinking I have ideas, but I don't know how you get them out into practical.
Don't get her wrong. She is talented. She.
I used to be, but something inside me died, and I don't know what happened. So
maybe it was 2016.
It started more 2015.
Maybe towards the end.
Because I used to be in Photoshop, and I'd make like 2-3 things a day, or at least something once a week, and it's just dead.
Well, there are times I get I just can't do this music thing.
For a year and a half?
Well, when I'm making an album, it takes about a year now. I mean,
but you have no having no creative spurt where you don't do a thing for over a year and a half.
Not for a year and a half.
It's been now it's going on to into the second year. Just nothing.
But still, you managed to do some awesome stuff for the universe. I mean, I
did one thing on my own because I was trying to do something for you, and it ended up being really cool. And you didn't use it, so I'm like, well, shoot, I'm gonna put that on my DeviantArt site and get a print of it, and I did.
Well, good for
the day the music died. I hate that song.
It's one of my favorites. Anyway, so
That's the year I was born.
but yeah, I have moments where like I'll sit in front of my music computer and it's like, I'll pick up something where I left off, or I try to start doing something new, and a couple minutes into it's like I just not feeling it, and then it could be a month later, and then I'll come back and like, oh, I could do this, or I can do that, or I hear something. It's kind of like when we were watching YouTube, and we were watching the Russian car crashes. Mm-hmm. And there was this crash, and then the alarm went off in the car, and I'm thinking, "Wow!" I hear the loop. There we go back to loops again. As I hear this loop of this little musical thing because
we were watching. Bless their hearts. The Russians have more dash cams because there's more insurance fraud, and they're trying to catch people. People will walk out in the middle of the street and fling themselves on the hood of a car because that's the kind of fraud that we're talking about, blatant. So there's more of that to catch that. So we were watching one, and there was an actual accident, and they hit, and the car went off the road, like kind of into a ditch, or maybe it kind of rolled to a stop, and something got triggered, and it was a weird beeping sound that we'd never heard before. I said, that would make a cool hip-hop beat. You went and sampled it and made a song.
Yeah, in fact, it's on my new album. The song is called Crash. And so, it's funny how where music, like I said, you go through a dead zone of creativity, and then all of a sudden, something as simple as that sparks imagination to create something. And I guess maybe you're needing something to, you need your own Russian car crash sound to spark some imagination, I guess.
I was trying to make you Unique Technique album cover, and you said, "Oh, well, I just want this." I went, "Okay."
Well, I had a vision for.
I know, and I didn't like your vision, but it's your album, it's your thing, so I just did what you wanted.
The thing is, you took and now we're talking about the album cover. So you took the tech aspect of my music, but you were really the drive behind me using more guitars in this album, and so I wanted something kind of 70s looking, and although the artwork you did is really great, and some of the other things you did for the possible album covers are really cool, they were more electronic-y in nature, and I wanted to go to an album cover that looked more retro 70s, and you get that with the current album because it's got LPs on it and some tapes.
When you say Unique Technique, I was thinking more sci-fi.
Well, and then,
but I guess we've already done a sci-fi cover for you.
And then the Unique Technique
actually 3 of them.
Unique Technique is more guitar because usually it's been more electronic in nature of the music I've been producing. So what does the future hold for the next album? Well, time will only tell. I've already actually started on the new album already. The next album that's going to come out, 2020 is the name of the album.
Is that the one
with the astronaut walking?
That you to
well, Well, this coming year is okay. Here's the predicting the future for Spaceboy music. We've got another album called 2020. We've got a small album, Christmas music, that needs to be done. I need your special.
You've got some time on that one.
Special request of Grass.
Oh yes. So, you haven't given up on that, have you?
No, I plan to, but
Oh, that's a special treat.
It's one of those things that,
me.
like most cycles with me with my music, it usually takes about a year.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the way it is for studio artists. Just so my sister who's listening hears this, I was listening to Spotify one day and just listening to random like chill out type of songs, and I was listening to this random song, and it had samples from "Shake Hands with Danger," that short about construction zone safety. Just the most weird random thing, and that was riffed on riff tracks, like they did it 3 separate times. So I asked my husband here, could he take Grass at Your Fingertips, a short about making crafts with grass, actual grass that grows on the ground,
Not Puff Puff Pass.
Well, it turns out, because I have bought that, through Riff Tracks digitally, they have the clean MP3 of it, meaning the unriffed version where it's just the audio from that short. So I was able to get him that MP3, and he's sampling it, and he's going to make me, I'm hoping he'll call it Is Corn Grass or something like that, or some kind of grass medley. So hopefully, sis, stand by, and maybe we may have our own little epic to add to that idea. So I'm really jazzed about that.
Yeah, so it'll all take. That's the prediction for the prediction coming this year is more Spaceboy music, and we'll see how that turns out. And then, of course, this year we're going to get more into the SBU network. I'm
going to continue to learn Premiere Pro. I intend to conquer InDesign just because I want to have the full. What's past trifecta? 4. I want to have all the major Adobe products conquered.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, I want to get my hands on that new Adobe product when it comes out. It'll be interesting to see what I can do with that particular program.
Which one?
The one where, what is it, Voco?
Oh, I'm so scared of that.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it.
The potential for mischief and criminal activity.
Well, I was going to say...
Now, they said they have something in place within the software that's going to...
Like a watermark.
But I don't know. The potential for bad things, people doing bad things with that.
There's always potential for bad things in any kind of technology that comes along. With big or what is it?
With great responsibility comes great something or other.
Something. I know. I can't remember how that goes. Because with great power comes great responsibility.
It's static.
I know. I had to that was me buffering in my brain. With great power comes great responsibility. So yeah. So we're winding down here, Surlana. Getting ready for the new year here in Texas. Any other thoughts you have on your mind there? Anything from the chat room, from our trusty space cadets that are listening?
It's just somebody said Photoshop is evil, but it's a necessary evil.
Well, that's the second time she said that.
Well, we've had personal dealings with it, Well, like I said, I had personal things. The things that I hope for 2017 are not as ambitious as world peace. Or, eliminating this, that, and the other. I'm just like, stop with the autoplay videos. Mm-hmm. Stop with the emotional blackmail in social media. See, those are doable things. Those are doable. I do wish there was a way to be less out there. To have less of a digital footprint, to be more off grid, to be less trackable. But
and currently, how our setup is, it's impossible for us.
Not if you want to do this thing.
No, in fact, not if we're doing this Spaceboy Universe and the network and all that other stuff. We're going to be pretty visible for a while, and it won't be until.
And
we leave
it's a
the
miracle
universe.
I'm doing this. I don't really know how to get out of it, but I'm not a social person. I don't need other people. I don't need to be around other people.
I know you're quite content with just reading a book.
I'm just content being under the covers reading a book, and then occasionally you'll walk in and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'll be like, "Cool." And that's the most I need.
And I've always described me as a battery, a rechargeable battery. When I'm charged, I'm the life. I'm the life of the party.
Some kind of interaction with people other than me. Let's put it that way.
That is true. And then when I'm depleted, I want to be left alone. I want to be.
You do need interaction with more than one person a day. And I'm like, give me a cave with plumbing and internet connection, and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I can live inside my own head.
I think
it's fine.
It's true to say what you're saying, and especially in the sense of my daily life right now is I don't get as much interaction with people as I used to.
Yes.
And it's hard right now, and that's the hard part of my life right now.
We need to get back to the gym. I would like for this feeling to want to punch people to go away. That would be nice if that would just tone it down.
Yeah, because I don't want me being a target.
Oh, everybody's target. It's just, I don't know if I need my meds adjusted or something. It just, I don't know, but look, some people have it coming. They legitimately do have it coming. But it's not up to me to decide that, I know. So I'm not going to go around punching people. I'll just think it.
Okay, all right. So...
some people just push my buttons.
What else?
I have a stack of candy hearts here.
Anything else you want to add before we close the show off?
Geez, I can't believe it's that time again.
Yeah,
well,
we're
we will be delivering quality programming for you in the new year. It won't be all this, like I said, I was shocked by the lack of predicting content, the things that were feasible and plausible that weren't completely,
Well, let's talk about the universe and our programming and our channels and what's ahead, Surlana.
What's ahead?
Well,
you didn't write that down, did you?
No, but I just talked about how the 7th we got the Dulce War. We're going to talk about Linda.
And that's based on a book, a paperback book you actually have, which I can't. Hold on, I can tell you the name of it. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, so we got the Dulce War on the 7th. We're going to talk about Linda Moulton Howe on the 21st. A good friend of the show, Red Viking Dave, will be on the 14th. The 28th, we are going to be talking about underground bases. On this particular one, we've reached out to Anthony Sanchez to probably see if we can get him on. We'll hope for the best on that. Either way, we'll be talking about underground bases. We'll be talking about Schneider.
Phil Schneider.
And maybe even some Al Bielek in there. And
he's tied into that stuff.
He's
tied into a lot of things.
Yeah.
You had this book. I think you've had it maybe for a while. It's a paperback book, and I read it 5 years ago, maybe, called "The Dulce Wars: Underground Alien Bases and the Battle for the Planet Earth." And I read it like a book of fiction, like Lovecraft or something. I was like, "Ooh, that's a pretty good story." And it's by B. Branton with an introduction by Commander X, whoever that is.
At the very least, whether it's true, whether it's false, who knows? We'll present the evidence as we always do, let you decide on it, and of course it'll be for interesting conversation because it will open it up with different directions.
So Dulce is on the 7th. Local Houstonian Red Viking Dave, podcaster, businessman, Red Viking Dave will be on. We got to find out what he wants to talk about. And then on the 21st, we're going to talk about Linda Moulton Howe.
Of course, now here it's important. If the Space Cadets want to put the word out on the street.
We can't tell you what to do. Whatever. We don't have anything 28th, do we?
Yeah, it was going to be the
28th is the underground bases. We don't have it written down.
No.
That's as far as we've got right now. We do have 2 things for February, but we've got to fill that out.
Yeah, let's not talk about anything beyond that.
We'll just do January. So we got January down.
I will mention that and sometime in February we'll have something on cryptozoology. May, we will possibly be returning back to Comic Palooza here in Houston, Texas for a possible 3-day event.
Like I said, I would like to turn to some history topics.
Yeah, well, definitely. We've talked about that.
Because I know we're a little fringe heavy here, but it just works out that way.
It starts off the year like that.
But we'll get into some... We do discuss 6 topics, and we kind of rotate them around as we find guests that fit them, or as we find the topics that get them. So I wanted to ring in the new year with the Space Cadets, so don't end it right before. Can you wait till
I can wait? Yes.
We roll over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff's coming up.
So beyond that, as the producer, one of the producers, you and myself, of SBU Network, anything to talk about there in that aspect?
Well, we produce another show, don't we?
Yeah, we do, but just wanted to tie that in, and then, of course, what we do on Spaceboy, or the SBU Network. We do produce the show under the SBU network, the Quantum Hologram Matrix with Reverend John Polk, which airs every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard. Is it 8? No, it's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's 7. It's 8 p.m. Eastern.
I hate time zones.
I know.
I hate them so much.
So anyway, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is when his show is. And so we produce that. And, of course, we are, creating this network for shows to come aboard. And, if they're interested, they can reach out to us via contact at sbunetwork.com. Okay. She doesn't. She's got this blank deer face on it, like a car just hit her.
We only have one email for that.
Right.
And I can tell you what it is.
So anyway, if you're interested in creating your own podcast on the network, we would love to talk to you. If you want to reach out to us, that would be great. You can always go to the Twitter site of the SBU network, and then just message us there and hey, I got an idea for a podcast, and we could talk to you. We could do it several different ways. We can do it live, or we can do it we're on demand, or just let us know. We'd like to see if we can do business with you. So that's what that is, and hopefully that's going to grow in the next year because we've got a website for that. We've
got a good system set up now for it. Like you take calls and whatnot. But
yeah. So, but other than that,
it's running almost at optimal level. What you like? We got 1 minute to midnight, as opposed
30
to
30 seconds. So we're counting down to 30 seconds to 35. Not 30 or 25. 20 coming up here. Yep, 20. And Surlana's silent. 15 minutes and counting.
15 minutes.
I mean, 15 seconds. I don't know why I do that all the time. So here it goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year from Houston, Texas, the Spaceboy Universe program.
Couldn't be less enthused about it.
It's kind of like that long race you've just ran, and you're like, hell, I just got across the finish line. I'm tired. I'm pooped.
We've been beat with a stick for 365 days. We're worn out. We got to get in fighting condition for 2017 because we need to kick its butt.
Well, I like to think that I kicked 2016 in the nards pretty hard. So, but yeah, Happy New Year. And, here's to another exciting adventure with Spaceboy and Surlana, and we hope that you keep exploring the universe with us.
Yes, because we're not going anywhere.
And of course, as always, check out all the rest of the content that we do. And
there goes all the fireworks outside. It sounds like a war zone.
So, other than that, Surlana, do you want to put anything on the on this muffin to finish it off?
As opposed to our other muffin.
Yes.
I'm surprised she hasn't come in here and screamed.
She's on the back of a chair in there and comfy.
Yeah. The fireworks might be freaking her out if she can hear them. But live long, prosper, if you're into that sort of thing. And we will be seeing you next Saturday.
Where our show will be the Dulce Wars. Or Dulce War? War.
It's wars.
It's a war. Is it wars?
I'll find out why it's plural.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because I thought it was one war.
Yeah, it's one base, one place.
Anyway, Space Cadets, do your homework on the subject matter if you're not familiar.
Yeah, that way you can correct me when I'm wrong.
Yeah, so we're looking for that, and I guess at this point, say good night, Surlana.
Good night, Surlana.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.